This is Saturday, October 15th. There are 283 days until San Diego Comic-Con 2023. Welcome to SDConCast, the official podcast of the San Diego Comic-Con Unofficial blog. And I forgot to load up music, so everything's going well already.
VANUHTEE go. Oh my god, I love LiveJournal and my LiveJournal loves me. Current mood is hyperactive. Current music Refuse 73. I love the color scheme. It's pink and purple. It looks sweet.
Well, hello all. I'm your host, James Riley. And joining me on the podcast, as always, Carrie Dixon.
Hey guys, thank you for joining us on what may or may not be the day of returning registration.
And also joining us today, Andy Wagner.
Good morning and welcome to hell.
All right, so this is the special edition podcast for San Diego Comic-Con 2023 returning registration. We'll be covering the badge sale as and if it happens. So buckle in for the ride, I guess. We'll be taking comments and questions most likely, because what else are we going to do during this while we wait for the thing to work? So tweet us at SD_comic_con. Use the hashtag SDConCast. We'll be keeping an eye on the YouTube live chat, which is very difficult to keep an eye on right now because it is moving very fast. So Carrie, what is happening right now?
Okay, so 30 minutes ago, the waiting room was supposed to open. We were all supposed to log into our member ID in order to access the link that was going to take us to the Q8 waiting room. We are about 32 minutes into the sale, and so far, no one is in the waiting room. The site kept crashing. Currently, we all have a screen that says we are updating. Sorry for the inconvenience. We are making updates to improve our site. So what was supposed to happen is here in about 28 minutes or so, the sale was supposed to start. Whether or not that happens is up in the air. It's entirely possible that CCI could delay this. It's also entirely possible that it could start working a minute from now and they go, hey, we're going to do this. We don't know. What I will say is I think from the moment this was announced, our team at least knew that this was not going to be a smooth process, because for anyone who's been attending Comic-Con for a number of years probably remembers the badge sales prior to them switching over to Expo Logic were kind of like this, where things kept crashing, like things would get delayed. The year of Ticket Leap, this returning registration happened a grand total of 4 times, because twice it crashed entirely. The third time they did a small test, and then the 4th time it actually worked.
Yes.
Now remember, this one was extensively tested.
Yes. However, no amount of testing can account for Comic-Con attendees and the amount of times that we refresh, how many of us hop on the second that things open, and so on. So I don't know officially, but I mean, I'm fairly certain they moved from Expo Logic to their own system to save money. And unfortunately, with that comes the errors that we used to all have. So I don't know what's going to happen today, but it's real fun. But no, everybody's in the same boat as you are at the moment. It's not like somebody else is sitting in the waiting room and you are not. So
you can all enjoy me sipping my tea.
I know. And I will say again, I think we at least definitely knew like this was a very strong possibility to happen. So not surprised, but I really was hoping that maybe they would have surprised us this morning. It would have gone much smoother, because we don't, even though I'm kind of laughing just at the absurdity of the situation, like we want this to go well. So yeah,
James,
good
Carrie,
times.
I just want to say Yoda best.
Okay, so I will talk briefly though about should I talk about the ID participant IDs?
The what?
The participant IDs that some of us have in the URL. Okay, so some people in our URLs have at the very end of the URL, it'll say ID participant equals, and then what appears to be a unique number. I have one. James and Andy do not, and a couple of other people have it, but it seems like nobody else on our team does. So does having that ID mean we're in the waiting room? I don't know. I have no idea what that means. But some people have it and some people don't. So.
And you're getting the same page, the We Are Updating page,
Yes.
if you're logged in or not.
Yes.
So it's completely down, and that's all that's working right now is, hey, we're working on it.
We're up
Yeah.
there.
Yep. And CCI did tweet 15 minutes ago and said, we are updating. So I think the question here is, what are they going to do here in the next couple of minutes? Like, are they going to call it and say like, hey, we'll try again next week? Are they going to give it until, 8:55? I don't know. We don't know. So again, we're all just in the same boat, but yeah.
All right. So, I mean,
okay, real quick though, I see a couple people putting their ID participant in the chat. Don't do that. Don't do that, kids. Don't share that. Because if it is unique to you, you don't want somebody to like steal that. So don't do that.
it's not working anyway. What does it matter?
No. But just don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, again, I just don't know what to do. Yeah, so I guess we can talk about if the sale does happen. This is how it should work. So theoretically, if this sale happens and we make it through, this is returning registration, which means that you can only purchase for the people who are in fact eligible today. That means no new people. Every single person that you purchase for has to be eligible on their own. Payments cannot be split. They don't take PayPal. It's Visa, MasterCard, and American Express only. No Discover either. If you get through, you do not have to purchase a badge for yourself. You can purchase 3 badges for other people. They just all have to be eligible on their own.
And what happens if the badge sale happens and you just happen to get, like, let's say, only Thursday and Sunday?
If you only get Thursday and Sunday, basically, so long as you purchase any combination of badges that is not 4-day plus preview night, even if you get 4 days and you just don't get preview night, so long as you do not purchase every single badge type, you can participate in open registration, at which point you can add on any days that you did not get in this sale. So it is always a good idea to go ahead and grab what you can, especially because, look, everybody wants 4-day with preview night, or at least like 95% of people want 4-day with preview night. Not everybody's going to get that, but there's so much that happens at Comic-Con. Like, there is no bad day, even if you only get Sunday. Like, you can go and shop floor, you can still go on Saturday and do offsites. Like, there's all kinds of stuff. So there is no such thing as a bad day at Comic-Con, and attending even for 1 day means that you are eligible for returning registration, which means that getting your badges is a whole lot easier than if you were just in the general pool, because the sale has considerably less people trying, which means that your odds of getting a badge are considerably higher. So again, get what you can, even if it's not every single day that you want.
Joshua asked the question is, if you get all days with preview night this time, can you enter open registration to try and help out friends?
No. You cannot. If you purchase 4 days plus preview night today, you are ineligible for open registration. Like I said, if you any other combination, if you get 4 days but no preview night, great, you can still try an open reg. We've had a lot of questions about when open registration will be. The answer to that is it's typically about a month after the sale. I would wager a guess that if it's the same timeline, it might be around November 12th. I think that's the Saturday. I think I looked this up the other day. But again, if this is also delayed for a week, because who knows, today might be, then I don't know if that changes that. So.
Carrie, we got a question in the chat that says, so new but technically returning junior badge can't be purchased today.
But technically, if you went through child to junior validation, they should be eligible today. Hopefully, if you had that question, you logged into their member ID prior to today and you checked to see if they had the little check mark to be eligible for returning registration. But so long as you did the child to junior validation, they should be eligible today.
So questions about what happens if the sale doesn't start at 9. Well, we're going to stay on until we get an answer as to what's happening after the We Are Updating comes back, even if it's after 9 a.m.
Yes. And I do think CCI will tweet something here in the next 25-ish minutes.
And Gila Verde asked, they've never delayed a sale before, have they? Of course they have.
They have. They for sure have. Yes. So again, Ticket Leap 2011 is the sale to measure all bad sales against. But in 2011, the sale crashed so bad that they rescheduled it. The sale crashed again so bad that they rescheduled it. And in that third time, they did a very small test. And then finally they held the real sale. But it's been several years, like I said, since those issues happened because they moved over to Expo Logic, and Expo Logic could actually handle the traffic. Unfortunately, with this new internal system, exactly what we had hoped would not happen happened, which is that their internal system can't handle the traffic, which is basically what this looks like.
Right. So they have, they're using, if you look up in the address bar, they're using a system called Configio or whatever that is. So that's probably some software that they purchased or a smaller company that they are working with that is not Expo Logic. And essentially, we don't know if they're using Configio servers or their own servers or Amazon servers. We have no idea what they're using now. We just know it's not enough.
Yeah. It's very clearly not enough.
And JP asked, why did SDCC leave Expo Logic?
Presumably it would be a money thing. Presumably that's the same reason why they probably left MySched as well for panels. They had 2 years without a convention, 2 years with no revenue stream. Like, of course, they've been, I think, pretty open and honest about if things are tighter than they were had the pandemic not happened. I think we are all just grateful, quite frankly, that this convention is happening, that Comic-Con is still a thing. Like, we love Comic-Con, we love Comic-Con International. So I understand to an extent why they made this change. But unfortunately, I wish they just hadn't tried to save some money here. Like, this is one place where maybe we should have splurged. Yeah. Christina in the chat said, I miss Expo Logic. We do too.
Yeah.
You can't save money if you're not making any money because the ticket sale can't happen. So make the ticket sale happen so you can make money. Then you can save money somewhere else.
Yes. Oh, if only someone could have foreseen this turn of events. If only someone could have predicted that this was not going to go well. I've had several people basically in our ads the last couple of days, telling me that I've been a fearmonger and a naysayer about this sale. Oh.
Carrie, I've been right there with you. I've been trying to hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. And we all saw this coming.
The second this got announced, I was like, this is not going to go well.
Yeah. And I'm trying to be optimistic. Maybe it'll be okay. Maybe a miracle will happen. Unicorns will fly down from heaven and, pigs will fly up to meet them. I don't know. I realized I was shooting for way more than could be expected, but
yeah. Yep. So we are, again, just like you, just sitting here waiting to see what's going to happen. It is basically about 8:45 right now. So here in the next 15 minutes. Will it start working? Will Comic-Con cancel the sale today and reschedule it? Or will they say, hey, we think it's going to go live here in about 30 minutes? I don't know.
We can just keep answering random questions that pop up in the chat. Like,
yeah,
Williams asked to stand in line for Hall H on Saturday. Do I need a badge for Friday? Absolutely not. You only need a Saturday badge.
Yeah.
Even if you get in line on Wednesday. Get in line.
Yep.
Yeah, get in line Thursday. Wednesday, they yell at you.
Joe said, will they still require everyone to join the waiting room if it goes past noon? I mean, I would like to hope that if this sale truly goes past noon Pacific time, that they cancel.
They're Eastern probably. So what will happen if it goes past the time when it was supposed to start? They like 99% sure they will still do a waiting room because they still have to do the random sort. So there has to be a time for everyone makes it in and then do the random sort and then start filtering people into the sale itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Soha asked, do you prefer breakfast food or dinner food? I mean, is anyone ever going to answer anything except for breakfast food?
I prefer dinner food.
What?
I'm not huge on breakfast. It's okay.
All right.
All right. Does anyone know if Conan will ever make his triumphant return again? I don't know. I mean, it was TBS who was footing the bill before, so they would no longer be the ones footing that bill. So I don't know. I mean, I think basically someone would have to help pay to send Conan there. It would have to make financial sense. But I hope that it does happen because that was always such a fun offsite at the convention. SM asked, do we expect Marvel back at Hall H next year? Now, James, Kevin Feige said something at the end of that panel, didn't he?
He said, we'll see you next year.
Yep. So we're gonna hold him to that, I think. Try to.
Basically, yeah. I mean, why wouldn't they? They've got so much stuff. I mean, at this point with Disney Plus and the movies, I mean, they essentially have something in production all the time. So why wouldn't they have something available? And he's always said, we're not going to go unless we have something to present. So I would expect that they're going to have something almost every year now.
Okay, so up, down, left, I asked, how do pro passes work? If I get one, what happens to anything I buy today? Okay, so if you are eligible for today's sale, but you're also a professional, you do not have to purchase a badge today for yourself. You can still hop in here and try it for anybody else. And I mean, theoretically, sure, you could buy one for yourself, but the professional badges are more or less guaranteed. Like, I think it says that they're not guaranteed, but I have literally never, ever, ever heard of professional badges selling out. So they're pretty much guaranteed. If you do buy a badge here, let's say that maybe you are waiting to hear if your professional status is approved. You can buy a badge today just in case it's not. And then if you find out you are approved, you can refund the badge that you purchased today in order to register for your professional badge. The one thing I am not clear on is if they still keep the 10% restocking fee, which they do for refunds. So just keep that in mind.
Somebody asked in the chat, I don't remember who it scrolled past, but they asked if you got your badge refunded during the pandemic, are you eligible for returning reg today?
No. They specifically said in one of the things, like, people who did not get a refund. I don't remember the exact verbiage, but I'm very positive that it said, like,
yeah,
people who attended and did not get a refund. So yeah.
Sam IMT last year, my first year, they were letting people in and out of panels, including Hall H. Do they always do that, or is it just chaotic? They always let people in and out of panels because people have to go to the restroom or go get food or just want to go to a different panel or have some other things to do. So yeah, you're not stuck in a panel the whole time. But the larger panel rooms have that system where you can't get back in when they're full unless you have the little ticket that you got on your way out. Yeah.
Kevin also asked, can we buy a badge for non-returning members? No, you cannot. It's only anybody eligible for returning registration can buy today.
And who is eligible for returning registration this year?
Those who are eligible for returning registration would be general paid attendees who attended either San Diego Comic-Con 2022 or who attended Comic-Con Special Edition 2021. So if you attend Special Edition, you are eligible today. But again, I said paid. So if you're like press or an exhibitor or something along those lines, you would not be eligible.
So it is.
Sammy said I missed the spinning blue circle. Whoever thought we would say that?
Yeah, right. Sleepy Eaters asked, is it worth standing in line for Hall H? That depends on what you're going for. Basically, it's how willing are you to do things for what you want to do?
Yep. And SM asked, where does the Unofficial blog hang out during Comic-Con? Do y'all have a person for each event, like panels, offsites, Hall H, etc.? No, we essentially go to the things that we like and then cover those. And since there's how many of us on the blog now? 14, 15 of us. We all have different interests, so we all go to different things. So we just cover a lot of Comic-Con.
Yeah, and it feels like we're everywhere. And then we also, of course, are so appreciative of you all who tweet us things like line updates and things like that during the convention for the places that we aren't. So we always appreciate that.
So for an update, the site is still in the updating. We are updating. You cannot do anything except for see that we are updating. So, I mean, nothing is happening right now, even though we are 8 minutes until the hour.
Comic-Con still did anything else in the last 31 minutes. Beyond there, this won't take long. Please check back in a few moments. Tweet. Your definition of that and mine are maybe not the same. But I'm sure they're trying. I mean, I'm very sure that they're trying. Again, we do this all the time. This is what we as Comic-Con attendees do. We break systems. We crash your stuff. Like, that is just what we do.
Yes. Rick asked, how does volunteering work? Does volunteering for one day give you access to all days of the con? Well, first off, Andy wrote a really great volunteering how-to on the site, so just look for that. But the actual question is, you only get the one day you volunteer for, correct?
Well, let me qualify that. They did make some changes this year. If you volunteer Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, yes, the badge you get for that day, as long as you've checked in, is good for the rest of that day. Once you've volunteered, or if it's before your shift and you've checked in, that badge is good, you can use it. If, however, you volunteer on Wednesday, preview night, that is considered pre-con volunteering. And what they've done is, once you've completed your volunteer assignment on Wednesday or any pre-con volunteer, you would go back to the check-in desk the next day, not the same day, because they won't let you do it. But the next day you go back and they will give you a badge, a complimentary volunteer badge for the day of your choice. So if you volunteer on Wednesday and say, hey, go back on Thursday and say, hey, I'd like Friday, they'll give you a Friday badge.
Nice. That's pretty good. So
but
the
mainly
site
because Wednesday's not a full day.
Right. So we're still in update and we are now 6 minutes away. So I'm going to try and remember to just keep giving updates of where we are as we talk, so everyone knows what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, just no update. We're just waiting for either for it to magically start working we're just about at 5 minutes before, or for Comic-Con to tweet something. So, but again, nobody is any further in this system than you are. So it's just a fun Saturday. This is all how we wanted to spend our Saturday, right?
Man,
of course.
I got my Trader Joe's apple spice donut and I got my tea, and we're just sitting here enjoying the day and the website that's not working.
And the company of all of you listeners.
Yeah, right?
Love Pink Hello Kitty said, do I keep hitting the refresh button? I mean, you can. I'm hitting it every once in a while, but you don't have to like sit there and hit it constantly. We will say if it suddenly starts working, or Comic-Con will say if it either suddenly starts working or they postpone it. But no, you definitely do not have to sit there and keep hitting refresh constantly.
And what do we think happens if it doesn't end up working today? I mean, it's basically just going to get rescheduled and they're going to try again. That's essentially all they can do.
Yes.
They don't have to, but they're going to hold a returning registration sale in some manner.
Yes.
They basically, it's what they do. It's what they're about. They basically promised and said anyone who goes to CCSE or Comic-Con 2022 is eligible for returning registration. So they're going to have a returning registration sale. It's just a matter of when, if it doesn't happen today.
Correct. And again, there is precedent for this. Oh, is it postponed? I see. Oh no, I think people are just in the chat saying please postpone it. Yes, there is precedent for this. Again, 2011 is the most prominent example, and they did postpone it multiple times. It was not even like they just postponed it once. It unfortunately got postponed multiple times, but there is precedent for this, and it just is what it is.
All right. CCI just tweeted, they said, after the successful badge sales for Special Edition and WonderCon using the same registration system, we have additionally tested continuously leading up to today's event, and each session has performed without issue. We, along with our registration system, Configio, a community brands company, formerly Expo Logic Epic, so I guess Configio bought Expo Logic, are investigating this morning's issue and are determining the best efforts to move forward. At this point, the 9 a.m. start time is being delayed. So it is getting delayed, not postponed, but looks like delayed till later today.
And they're not saying it's going to happen at 9:30, but there's another announcement at 9:30. So I guess we're here for another half hour.
At least.
Oh, got to fill a half hour of time.
What do you guys want to talk about? This is no blog. Ask anything, I guess.
All right, AMA.
Yeah, so again, we're unfortunately just stuck here waiting to see what they say here at 9:30. So fun.
Yes. Although I think Expo Logic is laughing, but in a different way, because all the former Expo Logic members are saying, see, we told you how we did it.
That is shocking to me that Configio is Expo Logic.
To me as well, especially because I'm like Expo Logic still has their own website and
I mean it's a community brands company, it says, which means I guess someone bought Expo Logic. So, but how come it doesn't work the same way? How come everything is broken now?
Yeah,
doesn't make sense.
I mean, no. Would you like me to explain software development and all the stupid effing politics that are in it? Because, it drives me insane on the daily.
Arnold asked, do none of your staff get any type of media credentials that come with a badge? We actually do, but we said we had a team of about 14 or 15, and we do not get that many badges. So a lot of us need to go the normal way. We don't even get close to that many.
No,
so,
not even. No.
So
go ahead.
Jason Shelter asked, can I go get breakfast and coffee if I step away from my computer? Am I going to miss the waiting room? No, because an announcement's coming at 9:30. You now have a half an hour to take care of things and get back here to see whatever announcement it may be. Yeah. So, go spend 25 minutes, self-care. Take some,
for sure.
Do stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, we're doing live updates. So just leave us on, turn the volume up. And when we say we're in, that's when you know.
Okay. I saw a question. What if all-time favorite offsite over the years? James?
Oh, geez. Well, I haven't been to as many offsites as everybody else, but I'm gonna have to say it was last year's Severance for me.
Pretty good. It was very good. Andy?
I'd have to say 2019's Amazon Prime, the Prime Video one. Love
that was a
one.
fun one. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really cool. For
We
me,
know
it would.
Carries. Yeah, we know
It would,
Carries.
yeah, it would. I mean, Severance was phenomenal, but nothing will top Westworld for me. That was just so much fun. Let's see here. Ask whatever questions you guys want. What are the specific things you guys want to see at Comic-Con? What are you hoping comes this next year, Andy?
Oh, let's see. Speculation for next year. Marvel, obviously. Gosh. I'd love to see Resident Alien come back. That was a fun panel, and I hope they have some kind of offsite. The sci-fi shows, I think, are getting a lot better. I'd like to see a lot of those. Some of the HBO shows. Ghosts, I didn't expect to see this year, so I hope they come back next year. And yeah, there was just, I think it's unlikely, but I hope Prime brings The Boys back at least as a panel, if not an offsite. But yeah, we'll see.
That would be nice. James, what about you?
Let's see. I would like to see Doctor Who return to Comic-Con since they have a new doctor and all of that. And I mean, of course, again, Marvel. Marvel is always my favorite panel. It's the one that is just amazing. What else? I think I want to see something like someone mentioned the Taco Bell offsite. I want to see someone bring back something just out of left field again. That is just
now.
Now, keep in mind, this is the 30th anniversary of that. So,
but I want to see something different that someone's not. I mean, we've had the KFC statues, we've had the Taco Bell offsite. We need something else that not necessarily fast food related.
The Wendy's bacon boat, it's all fast food. It's all food related.
Not necessarily, but something like that, like, I don't know.
Attack of the Baconator.
Some of those people creating offsites just need to do something again that is just out of left field.
I completely agree, because those honestly have been like some of my favorite things, because it's just surprising and fun. Like,
you know what? I did think of something right now.
What?
I want some kind of massive thing for David Lynch, because he is just the most incredible guy, and he is from out in left field. So he would fit perfectly in some kind of weird, cool, strange David Lynch offsite where it just blows your mind. That would be awesome.
That would be cool. That would be cool. I am hoping for Our Flag Means Death, and I'm really hoping for Good Omens, because it was just at New York Comic Con, but they said it comes out in summer 2023, and I'm like, when in summer? Because if it's like August, there is hope.
Kim M asked, what's the odds of the Winchesters with Jensen Ackles taking over Hall H on Sunday? Probably pretty good.
Well, I think it depends a lot on whatever happens with WBTV and whatever is going on with WB, and just what their strategy is in general, because I would have fully expected the Winchesters at Comic-Con this year, and obviously that didn't happen. So Warner Brothers kind of needs to get the house in order before I feel great making a strong speculation about what they're going to do next year.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So here's another question from Whiskey Sasquatch. Favorite place to stay during Comic-Con, or favorite place to eat in the gas lamp?
I don't want to say what hotel, because I like my hotel and I want to get my hotel.
I will say, having been to Comic-Con for 20 something years now, I have stayed at almost every hotel downtown, close enough to the con to count. And I would say that they all have their pluses and minuses.
Yes.
So like if you are like a Hall H person who just wants to get up and get in line, the Bayfront is exceptional for that.
Yes.
Also for almost any line, since the everything else line also goes that way. I mean, it's really great for getting in the line in the morning and seeing the line. The Omni and the Hilton across the street and the Hard Rock are all three right there on the entranceway from D Street or 4th Street, whatever it is. So you can just get right in across the way and just get right in. The embassy down the way is far. not super far, but far enough, but free breakfast. So if you're not the kind of person who gets up in the morning and gets in line at 4 a.m., you can go and downstairs and have a nice breakfast and then head to the con. So,
Yeah.
I mean, and of course the Marriott and the Hyatt on that side are great for, getting into the convention from that side. If you're not an early person who has to go all the way across the convention center to get in line. So, I mean, everything has its pluses and minuses, and there's smaller conventions, and there's a few like the Residence Inn, I think, or the Marriott in the Gas Lamp itself, like 3 blocks in. Those are also great. I think the Residence Inn has like a fridge in the room and a little mini kitchen. So, I mean, it just all depends on what you want. Everything, it just depends on how you are doing Comic-Con as to which one is the best for you.
And Joseph in the chat asked, would it be worth getting a hotel now? Okay, so if you are unfamiliar with the way that hotels work, here is the deal. Common reserves, well, the hotel signed an agreement with Comic-Con basically to give a room block to Comic-Con attendees. So Comic-Con holds 2 sales. They hold early bird, which is typically in February, and this is for non-downtown hotels. So it's going to be your hotels out in Mission Valley or by the airport. And if you book one of the hotels in early bird, it is non-refundable, meaning whatever hotel you get in early bird, you're going to stay there, but you don't have to deal with the stress of the general hotel sale. The general hotel sale is how you get the downtown hotels. So what that means is it's basically a lottery. We all hop onto a Qit thing, and then we fill out a form, and then you get emailed which hotel you want. It's a lot more stress. You will wind up with a hotel. It may not be the hotel that you want. You don't have to accept it. And when the dust clears, everybody has a hotel. But if you want to lock in the special rates that Comic-Con has negotiated for the hotels, you do the general hotel sale. If you try to book on your own for one of the downtown hotels, typically either one, you're going to be paying like $1,000 a night, which who wants to do that? But if you've got the money, I guess great, go do it. Or number 2, sometimes when you see the downtown hotels available way early, it's a mistake, and those hotels will get canceled the closer we get, which has already happened with a couple of the hotels. So again, if you don't want to stay downtown, like, you don't have to go through CCI, or you can do early bird. If you do want to stay downtown, we strongly recommend the general hotel sale, but be willing to be flexible.
Someone in the chat also mentioned Airbnbs. Those are at your own risk.
Yes.
Some Airbnbs, we've seen some really great success stories. People had great time. Others, we have seen horror stories. People have jacked their prices up at the last second.
Yeah,
so
people have canceled at the last second. Like, right? There's just, we wrote a really long, or I think a pretty good article a couple years back, basically about Comic-Con attendees' experiences using Airbnb. And if you Google like Airbnb SDCC blog, you'll probably find it. But yeah, that's always, we don't really recommend it, but if you're willing to take the risk, like, people have success. People just also have had really bad experiences. So at your own risk.
Yep.
So someone pointed out, again, it's chat's moving fast, so I don't remember who it was, that the tweet from them says they will make an announcement by 9:30 a.m., not at 9:30 a.m. So at any point in the next 22 minutes, they may make an announcement, but of course they should, cross your fingers, give some time.
Yes.
To let everyone get in and see how it's going if they are actually going to have the sale today. So yes. Even if they tweet something in the next 5 minutes, they should give you at least a few minutes to get back and set up and everything.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and I see a lot of people in the chat talking about Airbnbs now. Again, it's at your own risk. Some people did great. Some people had nightmares. And Artobotics mentioned that San Diego's changing the Airbnb short-term rentals policies in the cities. So yeah, we'll be keeping up with those news articles, what they put out for that. But yeah, like Carrie said, it's completely at your own risk. It might work, it might not.
Yep. Yep. So again, for anybody just joining us, I mean, surely you know the deal, but we were just waiting for Comic-Con to make an announcement on what they're going to do. They could postpone the sale. They could say that it's still happening today, just at a different time. TBD. So
yeah, so the site is currently in maintenance. Nothing is happening. The sale is delayed for now until they make an announcement that it is either rescheduled or happening sometime today.
Yes.
Oh, this past year, I know the stadium trolley stop had been closed. I know a lot of people relied on that if they're parking and riding. This year, stadium's back open. It's new stadium, Snapdragon. So the stadium trolley stop will be back open, and I'm not sure if they're still going to do the park and ride. I assume they will, but it should be back in operation this coming year.
Okay, somebody else mentioned, I've lost it now because again, the chat's moving too fast, that going back to hotels here, if you do get a hotel that's not incredibly close, Comic-Con offers a free shuttle, which is incredibly useful and a great way to get around. So
Absolutely.
yes.
So Greg Konkoff asked, do any of you attend other conventions like New York Comic-Con? And if so, what's your favorite other than Comic-Con? I don't attend very many. WonderCon, which is run by Comic-Con. Celebration I went to last year, and D23 I've been to for a few times. And then I've been to a few other ones in the past, like Dragon Con, and then some other smaller conventions like the one in Detroit and a few others. Nothing really compares.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, D23 is a mess, but a lot of fun. And there's some cool stuff there. Celebration, not quite a mess, but also awesome for the stuff we got to see. So, I mean, it's just, you make the best of the convention you go to, and you should only go to the conventions that have things you really want to do and see. Don't go to a convention just to go, I guess, because then you'll be like, well, this is kind of lame because I'm not doing anything. But yeah, if you really want to know questions about conventions, go ask Parks and Cons, because they go to about like 2 million a year. So
all of them.
Absolutely.
Yes, for sure. So yeah, they can definitely recommend some good ones.
What about you guys? I know Carrie's been to a few, like some fan expos and whatnot.
Do the Star Trek conventions I went to when I was a kid back in the 90s at the Holiday Inn in Allentown count?
Yes.
Oh yeah, then I've been to a few.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to other conventions. I like con. I don't know that I'd really consider it a convention, but I loved AX Television Festival down in oh my god, why am I blanking? In Texas.
In Austin?
Thank you. I was
Southwest?
like, I'm the one who lives the closest to it. Like, why can I not think of the name? Austin. Yes, in Austin.
I just want to real quick say, hey, Brianna, how you doing?
That's fine. And I'm going to answer Barry's question real quick, which was, hold on, is that an actual Joseph Gordon-Levitt from Third Rock from the Sun behind Gary? No, it's not. But it is his sweater from the night before, which is a Christmas movie. Seth Rogen. Thank you for asking that.
Yeah. See, and that's why I'm trying to get a hold of the 1991 Dark Shadows reboot, because it has a very young Joseph Gordon-Levitt playing David Collins.
There you go. Elisa asked, I keep hearing that WonderCon was empty. Is that true? The panels sure were this last year.
Yes, the panels were empty.
Yeah.
I mean, the largest panel of the weekend, I think, was Bob's Burgers, and that only was maybe half full.
I've
that was
never
also
seen the panel rooms that
right.
empty.
That was also just coming out of lockdown, and a lot of people were still iffy on going to large events.
Yes.
So
we also think and this is pure speculation, but we suspect that a lot of tickets got sold like closer to the last minute, which is more people who we think probably wanted to do the floor as opposed to panels. So it was just a very different convention this last year. But WonderCon is a fantastic convention if you've never been. It's a lot of fun. It has a great artist alley. They always have some really cool TV panels and sometimes a couple movies. It's a good time.
Yeah, the panels I've gone to at WonderCon, I didn't go to any this past year, but I went to Nosferatu, Trying to think of what else. I've been to a couple of panels. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. back when it was on. So yeah, they have some really great panels, and obviously easier to get into than SDCC.
And I mentioned it on our wrap up afterwards, but David Desmalkian holding his panel from the floor in front of the seats because there was only like 20 or 30 people there because it was such a late announced panel, and just chatting without a mic with people, just answering questions and just chatting with people was one of the best experiences. So smaller is not lamer.
No,
by
for
any
sure
means.
not.
Definitely,
For sure
definitely.
not.
I mean, I've seen those smaller panel rooms like 25 AB, whatever. They've had people like George Clinton from Parliament Funkadelic,
Absolutely. Well, and
you know,
smaller,
T-Boz from TLC. You know, people are there. Gerard Way.
well, and smaller a lot of time honestly means more intimate. So like if you go, I am the weird one on our team. I don't love Hall H because I don't like, I feel like you're so far away from the stage, you might as well just be at home watching on a screen.
You're not that weird. I'm right there with you.
So smaller a lot of times means you're a whole lot closer to the talent. Like it feels a lot more intimate. So I love smaller actions. Like I said, Apex TV Festival, if you ever get a chance to go, a lot of those rooms only hold like 100 to 300 people. And that was one of the most fun weekends I think I've ever had. So yeah.
There's some people in there being fairly negative in the chat. And I'm just going to say, you know, what are you doing watching this if you're going to be that negative? I mean, do you really want to just come in here just to be saying something like, SDCC kind of sucks? I mean,
remember,
it's a different experience for everybody. Some years,
Yes.
I mean, some years I felt like, oh, this is, you know, this isn't it, you know, hitting all of my fun points. But you know what? Every year you come back and it's something different, something fun to do. Every year can be different. So why, you know, I mean, yes, and it's big and it's a pain in the butt to manage. But guess what? That's what happens when you're this popular and you get all of the cool stuff coming. So
okay, so I have a suggestion. Okay, and I have done this in my own life, and I've suggested it to other people as well. If you ever find that you are getting burnt out on Comic-Con, or you feel like it's the same thing every year, or you're just like, I'm just not having that much fun anymore, what you need to do is, you probably have a routine at Comic-Con. You go to panels or offsites are your thing, or the floor is your thing. Whatever your thing is, do something else. Experience something else. Like if you are a panel person, go spend more time at the offsites. If you are an offsite person, go spend more time on the floor than you usually would. Because I pretty much guarantee you, like, you will find something exciting and it will no longer feel like the same old. So
sometimes I've had fun just randomly walking into panel rooms and seeing who's there. I know this past year I Indigo was actually walk-in, so I just kind of strolled in and hey, there's Sam Jones, Malcolm Barrett, and I can't remember her name from Xena, but yeah. I what can I say? I'm Gen X. The cobwebs are real, but yeah, and there they were, just, you know, chilling, talking to each other, having a good time. So I'm like, okay, let's watch this.
Outside Comic-Con, which is Kim, and hey Kim, said, let's focus that energy on manifesting convention center carpeting next year. Yes, please.
Yes.
100%.
Please.
Yes, thank you.
223 had carpeting and it was glorious.
That sounds so nice. Yeah.
And Josh, no, I remember Lucy Lawless's name. It was the sidekick.
Renee O'Connor.
I'm sorry?
Renee O'Connor, Gabriella.
Thank you. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Okay. I think Comic-Con just read it.
Up. The issue has been discovered and resolved. The waiting room will open at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, and the sale will commence at 10 a.m. Pacific time.
Okay, we're going to try this again here in about 10 minutes. All right.
In case anyone missed that, the waiting room opens at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, and the sale will happen at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So everybody get back to your computers in the next 10 to 15 minutes.
This is your 10-minute warning. Your 10-minute warning.
So now, while we're waiting, I do remember seeing a question of what is up with the prize mules? How did that get started?
Okay, so I'll tell this story. We threw some parties back starting around 2014, and it was either 2014 2015, but we had quite a few things left over from the party because we give away a lot of stuff at our parties. And it was Sunday, and myself and one of my good friends, Sarah, who was also our graphic designer, were we have to give this away, and we haven't done it yet. So we loaded up a giant bag of stuff and we loaded it onto her back, and she said, I feel like a pack mule, because we were going to go around and give away all this stuff. And I said, no, you're a prize mule. So we went around. Yes. So we went around all day and we took the dumbest photos of Sarah, because I refused to be on camera, of her sitting there eating a pretzel or with the bag over her head. And we would tweet a photo of her with the prize, and people would run up and get it. And we had so much fun doing it. It was so awesome. And so then the next year she didn't go. And I was like, well, I'm still not gonna take selfies of myself. that's not happening. So I bought the mule, the actual mule, even though it's kind of a unicorn, but we're gonna call it a mule. And so I took photos with that everywhere to give away stuff. And again, had so much fun doing it. And then everybody else was like, we kind of want to do that too. So we got everybody a mule, and we have been lucky enough to get so many awesome companies to donate awesome prizes to give away to you guys. And it's so fun for us, because you have no idea the thrill we get out of being able to tweet a location and something, and you guys are there instantly. It's amazing. It's so cool. Even just on our end, we get to make you do silly things or say things. So yeah, it's just fun.
Yep.
And as someone who joined the blog after the whole prize mule thing started, one of the most fun things for me to do coming on board was picking my mule.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, we actually get to pick ours. So
yes.
That was fun.
Okay, so Committed Comics said, Gary, I'm going to tell the story of how Gary came to be.
Well, real quick, before you start the Gary story, the question is, are we okay to use our phones to buy tickets? With this new site, we recommend not using your phone.
Don't do it.
You can, but it will look horrible and maybe not work really well. They never suggest using a mobile device, so we suggest using a computer.
Yeah, they've always said don't do it in the past, and people have, but it was a different system. Again, if you have tried to use their new member ID system on a mobile device, it's just not a fun experience.
Yeah.
So if you have a computer, use your computer. If all you have is a phone and you want to try it, okay, you try it. It might work, but it's just not going to be a super pleasant experience. And then other people are asking, should I refresh at 9:30? So yes, theoretically at 9:30, between 9:30 and 10, you will be able to refresh this. You do not have to refresh right at 9:30 on the dot. Okay, it's not a race. And in fact, if we all refresh at 10:30 on the dot, which we're going to do anyway, it may crash again. So,
oh, you're no fun.
So you do not have to refresh right at the dot. Okay, but real quick, the story of Gary. So when everybody else got their prize meals, I ordered a whole bunch. And when they sent them to me, there was literally just a random purple dragon that I absolutely did not order in the box. And I was like, well, okay, maybe they just threw this in as an extra. So I dragged a friend of mine out to a park to take photos of the mules. And we decided that his name was Gary and that he was an asshole. So we took a whole bunch of photos of him pushing the mules down the slides and crazy things. But yeah, that's the story of Gary, the prize dragon. He just showed up in a box. Nobody ordered him.
So one of the other questions I saw was, what about for open registration, new members who haven't been to Comic-Con? When is that sale? They have not announced the date for that, but it is typically about a month after returning registration.
Yeah.
So they will deal with this and then announce when open registration is coming up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Usually sometime in the spring, but of course.
My random guess for open registration is going to be November 12th, because Comic-Con is a creature of habit.
Yeah.
And this sale happened on the exact same timeline as 2019. And if open registration happens on the exact same timeline, it would be November 12th. So we'll see if that happens, but that's my random guess.
All right.
Backlog asked, by the way, is that a Patrick Ballesteros print behind you, James?
It actually is. So this Patrick Ballesteros print is one that he did for the blog. This is all of the different blog members that were on the blog. It was about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was 2018.
Yeah. So yeah, 2018. And so that's me right there with my glasses and my mic, because I'm the podcasty guy.
That's right. That's right.
So yeah, it's an original. This is just, obviously it's just a print of it, but it's not like he didn't like, this isn't the actual art. We all have a copy of it. So who has the original art?
I do.
Yes.
It's
Harry's got it.
back there.
It's that one right back there. So yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yes. Just saw it. Katina asked, does the Crewview blog ever get stressed? Y'all are so chill, and that helps me de-stress during trying times. This site basically exists because I have anxiety issues. And we just, we absolutely get stressed. It's stressful trying to cover the whole convention because we care. Like, we want to do a good job for you guys. We want to do a good job for the vendors. So yeah, we absolutely get stressed, but
check back in June. We'll be stressed.
Yeah. So check back like the week before Comic-Con.
I'm stressed every time before hitting that go live button, because you
go.
never know what's going to happen with this podcast. Like, me forgetting to play the music and all that. So, it is stressful, but so I know the question earlier was, how did the blog get started and all that, but I've been doing this since 2011. And the podcast has been going since 2011 or 2012. So I've been on the podcast for a decade. So you'd think I'd be used to it by now, but every time it's still nerve-wracking. And I'm trying.
No one watches. Yeah.
I'm trying not to look at the fact of how many people are actually watching right now, because I can see that number on my screen and it is scary.
I can't see the number, and I love that for me.
All right, guys. 2-minute warning.
All right. Will it work this time?
Let's
TBD.
Man.
If you have to go to the bathroom, now's the time.
So as far as cosplay, I know I saw people mentioning, which is a cosplay convention versus not. There's a ton of cosplay at Comic-Con. The problem is Comic-Con is vast. So you may be in a spot where a lot of cosplayers may not go, or if you did go to a place and there was less, then there may have been, because of the mask restrictions, they can't wear maybe some costumes that they wanted to, so then they don't bring them. So it may have been less. And yes, Dragon Con has been a cosplay convention for decades, maybe. And WonderCon's a good cosplay convention. So, there's cosplay everywhere. D23 is an awesome cosplay convention, but it's, limited to Disney properties. So if you like cosplay, Comic-Con is still a good place to go. But there, of course, are other options. Dragon Con, I would say, if you haven't been to Dragon Con and you like conventions and you love cosplay, you need to get to Dragon Con at least once, because it is an amazing convention for cosplay, and it still has all the panels and everything and vendors and whatnot. It's a great convention.
That's one that I've always wanted to make it out to, because I've just heard nothing but wonderful things, and it looks really fun and really fan oriented. Okay, so we've got about 20-ish seconds, so we're gonna see how this works. Now everybody still has we are updating screen as far as I'm aware. We are hoping.
Nikita asked in the chat, can we log in anytime between 9:30 and 10? Theoretically, yes, but we will see.
Yeah, that's the way that it's supposed to work. Okay, so it is
Still, it's doing something.
Oh, it's thinking now.
Yep.
No, still we are updating.
Same.
Yep.
What do we
Nothing's
get on
changed.
code?
Give it a minute.
It's thinking.
Give it a minute.
I think there's a lot of people hitting refresh now.
Yeah, I think that's
I'm
why it's also way
thinking.
down. Again, as we also continue to make the problem worse by also sitting here hitting refresh. Again, I think that CCI or whoever is testing this believes that people will do it over the course of 30 minutes. And we're all like, no, we're going to do it in the first 5 seconds. But
Yeah.
thank you.
Oh, I have the
Oh.
queue it waiting room.
Uh-oh. One of us is in. Another one's in. Awesome. Ah, I'm in. I got CAPTCHA.
Hey.
Oh, look at that. It's working.
That's right. All right. That's awesome. Good job.
All right. So the queue it system loaded immediately, had to do a CAPTCHA, and then it went to the screen that has the running man, correct? Is there a running man? There's no running man.
There's no the
No,
running.
there's just
the
a
running
countdown.
man.
There's a countdown.
There's a countdown. When the countdown finishes and they randomize us, then we'll get the running man. This is
Oh,
what
yeah.
happens every time. You
Right.
just don't remember.
I was too excited to get to the I wanted the
I
running
know.
man.
It's like I'm in.
I wanted the running man so bad.
You're gonna get the running man. Calm down. Yes.
I mean,
All
if you want the
right,
running man
so-
that badly, I'll put the movie on. You know, the Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
Yes. I'm not going to get up and dance, though.
You're no
I
fun.
think that's fair. All right, wow, this is good. Okay, so we've got 27 minutes here, and then the sale should theoretically start. So for anyone who has not used Qt, the way that this works, theoretically, is that at 10 o'clock Pacific time, the countdown clock will hit 0. It'll take a minute to randomize us all, and then we should all start getting a running man. And it's basically just a little running man, and it has a status bar in green, and it'll kind of show you how far along you are. I've seen cute rooms with a time estimate for how close you are to making it through. I've also seen them without, so TBD on if we get that today or not. Yeah. But this does appear to be working, so that is good.
So someone mentioned on Twitter that they're in the queue, but didn't have them log into their member ID first. So it's going to check when it sorts at some point. It's supposed to do a check for
Yes.
if you're eligible, and you may have to log in at that point.
Yes.
So basically, everyone is going to get this far, whether you're eligible or not.
Yes.
After this point, once the countdown reaches 0, if you're not eligible from what they put out, you're supposed to just get kicked back to the home page. So we'll see what happens.
Yes. But even if it doesn't kick you out, like even if, well, no, never mind. I'm not even gonna. we're gonna hope that this all works the way that it is supposed to.
Of course it
So-
will.
Fingers crossed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so one more
Can we
time.
log
We're
into
gonna
multiple
go.
devices? We don't know. That's a very good question. Next up, Fantasy. We don't know if we can do this from multiple devices since this is brand new.
However, if you are, let's say, a family of 2 and only have one computer, we definitely recommend that you use a different browser for each person, because Qt is for sure not known for liking multiple sessions within the same browser. So if it's you and your wife, or you and your brother, or whoever sitting there on one computer, one of you do Chrome, one of you do Firefox, or so on and so forth. Okay, so let's go over one more time the way that this is going to work. When you get through, you should be able to purchase for up to 3 people who are eligible for this sale. That means that every single person has to be eligible for the sale. You don't have to purchase a badge for yourself. If you want to purchase a badge for 3 other people, so long as they are eligible to participate in this sale today, you can do that. You will need their member ID and their last name. Payment not be split. There is a $10 handling fee per person. Comic-Con accepts American Express, Visa, and MasterCard. No PayPal, no Discover. What am I missing here?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Nothing?
Hi, Giant asked, how can I see which account I'm logged in as? Right now, unless you log
cannot.
in before 8,
Yeah, you can.
you can't log in at all.
Yeah. I think basically what's going to happen is this is going to go through the thing, and I think then it'll just look at whatever you were logged in as. Like,
James Bender in the chat said, I really don't like the no login thing. Yeah, it is kind of.
member ID is their email, correct? Not usually. Member ID is normally like a specific user ID.
Yeah, it's a user ID, not an email address. You obviously have an email address linked to your account, but the member ID is whatever username you've selected.
Yep. Question, is preview night worth it? What is the flair about it? Okay, so preview night is Wednesday night from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. only. And it's basically the only thing that's really open is the floor. They used to do pilot screenings up in Ballroom 20, but again, with all the WB TV changes going on, that didn't happen last year. This year. Time has no meaning. So all it really is the floor, and it's just your first chance to get onto the floor. There's theoretically less people than there are at other points in time, and if there's something you really want, like, you can just knock it out, or if there's something you think might sell out, you can get it and then you don't have to worry about it for the rest of the weekend. I mean, we love preview night, but if the show floor isn't your thing, like, maybe you don't care about it. It's up to you. But the only way to get preview night is if you have all 4 other days as well. So you can't say, like, I want night and Thursday only, or I want preview night and Saturday only. You have to do Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then you can add preview night if it's still available.
And we see a lot of people asking the question about logging in, which we mentioned a few minutes ago, but just so you're aware, it does go straight into the Queue It system. If you hadn't logged in yet, they said that it will be doing a check before the waiting room to make sure that everybody is eligible. So I'm guessing that if you haven't logged in yet, it will ask you to log in before it lets you into the waiting room.
Yeah, I would think so as well. I don't know if this is in reference to, but Xavier Behavior said, I heard Funko Fun Days is at the Radio Shell. Yes, they announced at Fun Days this year that next year it will be at the Radio Shell. So.
How do you find your username or your member ID? Well, I mean, you should have that information. Maybe your computer remembers. But yes, it's whatever you signed up as for your member ID. If you don't have it, then I'm sure there's a way to have them send it to you or some other thing once the login screen is back available. Until then, nothing.
Yeah. John GM lots of assumptions. I mean, yeah, we are assuming a lot of things here because this is a brand new system, basically. We have never done a Comic-Con sale like this before, where for a badge sale we queue it to. Actually, I feel like maybe we have, but I feel like that was like many years ago. But the point is, this is a brand new system, so we don't know entirely how this is going to work, and a lot of things, like, we hope work as Comic-Con has explained that they work, but we don't really know.
Yeah. So basically, you go to the member ID, it's going to take you immediately to the Queue It system. No logins. If you were already logged in, maybe you're still logged in. If you weren't, it's probably, but we don't know for sure, going to ask you to log in. We won't know until 20 minutes is up and we find out what happens.
Yeah.
So it's just what they said is that there will be a check before getting into the waiting room. And if you're not eligible, you will be sent back to the landing page the regular member ID page. So you are assuming, of course, that the check needs to involve your member ID. And in order to check your member ID, you need to log in. So there probably will be a login. If there's not a login, then there will at least be a way to check by putting in your member ID.
Yeah.
If you are using mobile devices, I see a few people say that they're still on mobile. What I would highly recommend, no matter which type of phone you're on or which browser you're on, look up how to change your settings in your browser to use desktop mode, whichever browser it is, Chrome, Safari, whichever. Try to use desktop mode. Maybe that will give you a little bit more success on mobile. But again, that's just a theory, speculation, brand new system. So we're trying stuff. We're trying the same thing that you guys are.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Fantastic Bagel asked, so everyone's saying the Q it belongs there. No, that is
That's the problem.
That's the problem, is anyone at all can access this system. However, there is supposed to be, after they randomize us, there is supposed to be some kind of a check. Whether that check is we have to log in with our member IDs to prove that we're eligible, or whether the system just like magically knows.
We don't
know, but there is supposed to be some kind of a check.
Right. And I did misspeak a little bit where I said when we get to the waiting room in 20 minutes. We're in the waiting room now.
Yeah.
When we get to the sorting room in 20 minutes. But my point still stands. We won't know for 18 minutes what kind of check they're going to do to get all eligible people into the sorting and all non-eligible people back to the member ID page.
Yep. Yep.
So everybody just, breathe.
I know that this is a stressful sale. Just remember, look, no matter what happens today, it is not the end of the world. It is not even the end of your chances to attend Comic-Con, because there is still open registration. So this is just kind of like your bonus chance. Today, if it doesn't work out, you've got another shot. So breathe. It's okay.
Who's Fraba?
Okay. So I guess we'll just in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, we're just waiting right now.
So the yellow message is, of course, updating. The don't refresh the waiting room message is there currently for me. It may be seen, and they're doing, of course, some hashtags and such in the yellow message. So
hashtag RR 2023. No one's going to use that.
No. And I'm sorry, but the hashtag is hot D, not hashtag House of the Dragon.
That is correct. I saw somebody tweeting that they thought it was interesting that anytime they tweet about like Lord of the Rings, they put it all in caps, like just automatically. But anytime they put House of the Dragon, they lowercase the O and the T. And I mean, it's the same of the.
Yeah,
but I
saw that. That was
sense.
Was that like Weinberg or Alan Sepinwall or someone like that?
Yeah. And I was like, you know what? You're not wrong.
No.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Because, I don't know. Because you got to make sure that it's the hot D. I mean, if it's just HOTD all capitals, I mean, you don't really, it doesn't seem the same. So you just like, oh, it's HOTD. No, man, it's hot D.
That's right. Okay.
And yeah, there's a podcast now for hot D.
Okay, so it's been a few minutes, so let's say it again. The member ID page goes straight into the waiting room, the Q-It waiting room, without logging in. There will be, they said, a check for eligibility at the end of the waiting room before they sort people, and people who are not eligible will be taken back to the member ID page. We are assuming, of course, that there will be some kind of login before you can actually buy tickets. So if you weren't able to log in to get to the waiting room, there will be, we're assuming, a login after the waiting room, either before sorting or after sorting once you are chosen to buy badges.
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to read the actual verbiage from CC's site. To manage traffic on the day of the sale, technically anyone who logs into their member ID account around that time will enter a virtual waiting room. That is correct. However, only those who are eligible for returning registration will be placed into the randomized queue for the badge sale, and eligible members in the waiting room will be returned their account dashboard once traffic slows down. So, I mean, again, TBD on if that happens, but the fact that anyone can access the waiting room right now is not unexpected. It was expected.
All right, so since we have 15 minutes, I'm actually going to step away for a second and get my more comfortable headphones.
Do it.
And then now I should go somewhere and let Carrie just sit here and talk all by herself.
Fun.
I'll just wait for Andy to get back. So, I mean, once and if the sale starts, that portion should be running mostly like usual, where they let in a certain number of people at a time, and then they are buying tickets, and that will run where they let in that certain number of people on a regular basis, and the ticket supply will be kept updated, and they will let us know when they're getting close to selling out of a day, and then when a day is sold out.
Yes. So people only who logged in before the crash are eligible. We don't know. Is long and the short of it. We do not think that is the case, but I mean, no, we don't know that for absolute certain. We really and truly think that there will be some form of a check here when the clock strikes zero. So, or maybe even like when you get selected, it'll ask you first to like log in again. I don't know. This is brand new. We're all just kind of in this together, like fumbling around. All we can tell you is what CCI site says and what appears to be happening. So,
and we did have a couple of questions about if you only get less than 4 days in preview night during the sale, can you try again during open registration? And yes, of course you can. The only time you can't do open registration when you've done returning registration is if you get all 4 days with preview night. If you get anything less, you are eligible for open registration as well.
Correct. Yep. Yeah.
I mean, for the sale that's happening now in 12 minutes, of course, everything could crash again when it goes to the sorting. We don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what happens in 12 minutes.
Yep.
Everything could work just as it has in the past. We don't know. We will have to wait and see. It would be nice if the registration check was after everybody was sorted and then you just log in when it's your turn to buy tickets. But how do they know if you're eligible, right? So,
I mean, I'm hoping that it's kind of like what used to happen, which maybe I'm speaking wrong. I'm hoping basically what happens is when we get selected here, it brings up a screen and it asks us to log in again.
Right.
And if we log in and it says, hey, you're eligible, then we get to purchase badges. And if we log in and we don't, it says, no, go away.
And the latest, and the message changed. And of course, the usual thing is you have 15 minutes to finish your order. So it's plenty of time to finish your order. Just make sure you have all of your information. If you're buying for multiple people, make sure that you have their member IDs and their names. And if you're buying for buying group with a lot of people, make sure that the people you're buying for haven't gotten their tickets already.
Yes. But it should more or less tell you.
Right.
Basically, if you enter in someone's member ID and their tickets have already been purchased, I think it won't show you any available dates to be able to purchase. And essentially that means someone else has already gotten it.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that's the deal. Let me go look at this one more time.
10 minutes to go. I will be back in just a moment.
If someone purchased all available badges for you during their registration session, and then you enter in into your own registration session. You can no longer purchase badges for yourself since it's already been done so for a friend. You can, however, purchase badges for 3 other eligible members.
Yeah, the way I always remember it is it's either you plus 2 or any 3 other than you.
Yes. It's 3 people total. You can be included in that total or you don't have to. It could be 3 other people, but yeah.
Yeah, so if someone else has already gotten your badges and you're still in there, but you want to buy for somebody else, don't just quit. Stay in there, help your buddies out.
Yeah.
Because Yoda asked.
What if you forgot your password? I think you might be. I mean, you can see. Maybe it won't ask you to log in again, but if you don't know your password at this point, you might be out of luck.
Yeah, check your saved passwords. It might be in there, but yeah.
Yep.
Nate, yes, I did find the comfy headphones. They are so much better. I'm not getting stabbed in my earlobe anymore. Thank you.
If someone gets in and buys a badge for 3 other people, but not themselves, can they enter open registration? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
The only thing that disqualifies you from open registration is 4-day plus preview night.
Okay, I've seen this question a couple of times now. I'm eligible for returning registration 2023. Will I be eligible again for returning registration Comic-Con 24? So basically it resets every year. So in order to be eligible for Comic-Con 2024, you have to have at least 1-day badge for Comic-Con 2023. So if you don't get a badge at all today or an open registration, it's not like your eligibility then carries over because you would not have attended 2023. If you get even 1 day in this sale or open registration, then yes, you would be eligible for 2024 returning registration. But you basically have to have had a badge for a year prior to whichever year you're trying for.
Michael asked, can you remind me kids under 12 get their badges at the con, correct? Yes, they do. You will take them up to the child registration booth up in Sales Pavilion, which is where it usually is, and you'll register them and get their badge from there.
And free children are considered anyone who is age 12 and under on July 31st, 2022. So as long as they were age 12 and under on July of this year, even if next year, like they'll almost be 13, they still count. Yeah.
7 minutes to go.
If buying for friends, but they want more or less days than me, is that possible? Yes. You will basically select the days for each individual person. So like you'll enter in one member ID and their last name and then select whichever badge days they want. And then you'll move on to register for another person. And you do not have to select the same types for each person. If one person only wants Saturday, but everybody else wants all 4 days with preview night, you can absolutely do that.
Do days typically sell out during this? Yes, it all sells out.
And now keep in mind, it's selling out for returning registration, not open registration.
So there's going to be roughly, we don't know for sure because they never release numbers, but roughly half the tickets are available in returning registration, and then half of the tickets are available in open registration. As for which days will sell out first, typically Saturday sells out first, then Friday, and then it's usually Thursday and then Sunday, a toss-up. It may be both around the same time.
Yeah.
And then someone makes a point, take screenshots of everything. Absolutely. Make sure you get screenshots in case something goes wrong. And especially at the end, if you're successful, take a screenshot of your successful purchase.
Yes. Kids under 6 need a badge. They will, but again, you will register them for free on site. You don't have to get them anything today. What do you mean 4-day plus preview night disqualifies you? What we mean by that is if you have purchased, if today you managed to get all 4 days plus preview night, you are then ineligible to participate in open registration because there's no other badge day. Yeah, there's no other badge days for you to purchase. So all that we mean by that is like if you wanted to try to help somebody else in open registration, if you get all 4 days plus preview night, you cannot log in during open registration, basically. That's all that means.
So Kay Robinson mentions that preview night sells out first. Yes, preview night does, which I forgot about preview night. And someone mentions that Saturday sells out first because of quick draw and cartoon voices panels. I think that's maybe.
Pretty sure it's Marvel.
No, it's
you know
it's
what?
Mark. Mark is in the chat and he says that's why Saturday sells out. And we agree. You need to go to those panels.
I mean, I don't know.
They are great. They are
if
great.
you're not coming to Comic-Con to see Scott Shaw and Sergio Aragon just duel it out, it's not worth your time.
We went to both the Share Quick Draw and Cartoon Voices, and we had a lot of fun. In fact, I even finally got to say hi to Mark in person for like 10 seconds.
As he ran to his next panel that he was moderating.
I mean, it was in the same room, but yeah, it was between panels.
5 minutes.
4 minutes.
Yep, 4 minutes.
And 6 seconds.
My clock still says 9:55.
Oh, I'm talking about the countdown time.
Yeah.
Got it.
Since they changed the password requirements, if you did not update the password, do you think they will let you have an opportunity to reset? No, I don't think they will. I'm pretty sure one of the instructions said, like, make sure you've logged in, like, since we changed it all, that to make sure that your password works. So hopefully you did that. Okay, so again, theoretically here in 3.5 minutes, they will randomize us, which usually takes about a minute. And then you should see the little walking man and a green status bar to give you a rough idea of where you are in the waiting room. Possibly some people will get kicked out. Possibly we will have to log in. We don't know. But once you make it through to actually purchase, you should have 15 minutes to purchase. You can purchase badges for up to 3 people. Those people can be any combination that you want. It can be yourself and 2 other people. It can be 3 people who are not yourself. It can be just a junior. It can be whatever combination of people you want, as long as each person that you're purchasing for is eligible on their own.
And yes, some of the people are mentioning the delay. Yes, I can say right now it's at 2 minutes and 40 seconds. And when you hear me, it will probably be at 2 minutes and 10 seconds or something like that. So yes, we are a little bit delayed.
Yeah.
It's in case one of us goes on a cussing tirade.
So Itzel from the chat asked, I plan to get tickets Friday, but my friends don't qualify for today. Can I still help them during open registration? Yes, you absolutely can. As
long as you don't buy all the days. If you're just buying Friday, then you'll be eligible to help.
Can junior badge members buy at open reg? Yes, they can.
Matthew Cello says, I need to scan badge at the con, I believe. That is a common misconception. Comic-Con International has always said that they reserve the right to change their mind, but up to so far, you have never had to actually scan your badge in order for it to still be eligible for return registration the next year.
Right. And again, let's reiterate that they can change that at any time.
Yes. Basically, I think it's set up so that, like, if you have a family emergency, so you can't go, like, they don't want to penalize you. But if too many people start abusing that system, like, then they'll change it. So we don't recommend it for sure. And again, like, if you can go to Comic-Con, like, go to Comic-Con.
Yeah. Jared asked, how does the military discount work? That is a very good question. I honestly don't know. I wish I had gone when I was active duty. But,
I'm pretty sure you basically have to, like, email Comic-Con. They'll probably ask to see, like, your military ID, and then they can change it in your system. So if you did not do that prior to today, what I would do is just go ahead and purchase the badge at full price. Send them an email, and then hopefully they should be able to help you, like, refund the difference.
Agreed.
Okay, we're about 45 seconds away on our end. Again, there is a slight delay, so it'll
less than a minute to go
on yours. Yep, we're gonna see what happens here.
Stuff's gonna happen.
Things and stuff.
Something's gonna happen, maybe.
Something may be happening for you right now when you're listening to this.
Yeah. All right. Yes, good luck to everyone. We have everything crossed for you. And again, if it doesn't work out today, that's okay. You still go open registration. This is not your last chance, no matter what happens. But good luck.
I've got 5 seconds.
4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. I see a walking man.
I see the walking dude.
Yep. It'll take a second and then he'll start walking real fast on some people's.
Some lucky people will get that walking
Yeah.
man do a run.
That's right. Everybody
So
wants
now-
him to do a sprint, but right now he's doing a real
Right,
slow
you
walk.
look-
The message is we appreciate your patience as we prepare to begin the random selection process. If you are selected, you'll be automatically moved to registration session where you have 15 minutes to complete your badge purchase. So yes, it is the sorting
And-
time currently.
It's also my annual Saturday tornado siren time.
Oh yeah, huh?
Oh,
Yeah, I've
yeah.
missed that.
Delayed. Yeah. Nope. Okay. Okay. I see an expected time now. Granted, it says more than an hour. I hope that changes. Do you
Some
see an
people,
expected
someone in
time?
this chat has 13 minutes.
Ooh.
A lot of more than an hour's. A lot of them. There's one for 15 minutes, more than an hour. 10 minutes, more than an hour. 32 minutes.
I've got more than an hour.
Yep.
Yep. It might update though. It might update. I think it updates like every 30 or 90 seconds. One of those.
Now, this is interesting. There's a message on top of this that says you can close this page without losing your place in line.
That's
I
crazy.
wonder
Yeah.
how that works.
Who would do that?
Who would do that? I mean, I think that was the way that it worked before as well. I mean, like that I would not want to take that risk.
No.
Okay, so I've seen people saying my walking man has not moved. Should I be concerned? Don't be concerned. Again, I think that this updates like every 30 or 90 seconds. So he's not going to move
Yep.
super fast.
No matter how much we want him to.
Yep.
He's on down. He's on down the
All
road.
right. It's a trap. Okay. I guess I need to move over to Twitter. All right. Are people making it through yet? Have we seen anybody who actually has a badge yet?
I mean, this is essentially what we're used to at this point, but of course, we still have no idea about when to log in if you haven't logged in.
Yep. Yep.
Someone says they're being redirected to purchase badges in the chat. So let's see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody mentioned that if you logged in first, maybe that's what's giving you the shorter times. That's possible. I don't know.
I was logged in early and I'm still more than an hour. So I don't know that I agree
There's
with
people
that
with-
statement.
Okay.
I think it's truly random.
Yeah. 40 minutes, 9 minutes, 48 minutes, 26 minutes. I mean, it's all over the board. So it's obviously random.
Yeah.
Geek Guy says member ID and password needed. And he was the one
Okay.
who said that he was being sorted into purchase badges. So
Yeah.
after you're
Okay.
sorted in when you're going in, then you have to log in.
Okay. Sounds like
Mondragon, no, this is not for pro badges. This is just for general attendee. Yeah, I hear. I'm seeing a lot of people saying that they were logged in and they're more than an hour too. So it doesn't sound like that has anything to do with it.
A lot of people are now under an hour. Geek Guy, the one who's in, is buying tickets now.
Awesome.
So someone's in and buying tickets. Other people are under 10 minutes now. There's a bunch of people all through the range of the hour. So we'll just have to wait and see how it goes and how fast it sells out.
Yep. Yeah, I'm still at more than an hour on. I just have two browsers open right now, but I still have more than an hour on both.
Mine changed to 54 minutes. Woo! Less than an hour. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Okay.
people ranging in the hour here.
Yep.
So
All right. Burnt In said, I got in and was there just one. So people are making it through.
Yep.
Dev said it went straight through. All right, so we are off to the races, even if it's a very slow race. So I don't know, is this better or worse, like seeing the time? Guys, would we prefer to think that we're all just Cheerios who could be chosen at any moment by the big giant spoon in the sky, or do we like seeing more than an hour? Oh, I just jumped down to 35 minutes. Woo.
Oh boy. I am still at more than an hour.
All right, so for right now, all days are still available. People are making it through to purchase. Let me, again, this is a brand new system, so who knows how it's going to work, but let me go and see what time things sold out last time. Okay, last time it took 19 minutes for preview night to sell out. Again, who knows if the timing will be the same, but there's definitely still hope.
Yep.
Yep.
Yo. Yeah, everything's still more than an hour for me.
Yep. All right, so seeing a lot of people who are at a short time frame. That's good, and it does seem to be speeding up for several people, so that's great. Likely what is happening is as people get through, it's just speeding up a little bit. And it's also entirely possible that, like, if two people were trying and they only needed 2 badges, that if one person got through, then the other person was closing their window. So that can also help speed things up.
Telling you, stressful.
Very.
I feel like anybody answered my question. Do we prefer to be Cheerio in the sky with no time, or do we prefer Walking Man?
I think I prefer Walking Man.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too. I feel like at least like
You know you're out of luck right at the start, right?
Well, you don't necessarily know that you're out of luck, but if like there's a group of you trying, then like okay, that's probably gonna get through before I do. So on and so forth. Seeing several happy people in our ads.
Nice, nice, nice.
We love that.
All right. I'll be back.
All right.
Yeah, my Walking Man is still strolling.
Yeah, mine's not moving too fast either, but good James. James got in, so that's good. All right. Preview night is still available as of right now. So, yep. And lots of happy people. With AJ just said my time increased. Don't worry too much. It will go down again. These times tend to fluctuate a little bit. Like it's not an exact science. And it does say estimated wait time for a reason. So again, last time it took about 19 minutes for preview night to sell out, which would be about 8 minutes from now. See if that is the case again this year with this new system. But again, even if you don't get it today, there is still open registration.
Exactly. And if worse comes to worse, when they, I believe the volunteer interest list is already open. So if you put yourself on that, you can try and volunteer.
That is correct. Volunteer interest list is open, and volunteering is an awesome way to attend the convention. And again, open registration is still an option.
Yes.
And all hope is not lost. Like, we truly have no earthly idea like how slow people are gonna be getting in. This isn't good. Wes Weinhardt said, "What is the page not found error?" That's not great. Geek Guy said, "Instant email received with order info and receipt." James just confirmed that yes, you do log in.
Okay.
Alfredo said, "Use queue number. You have been redirected before using the queue number. This queue number has been used at," and then I gave him a time. So my guess is that 2 sessions open with the same browser, which again, you should not do with Qt. A couple of people saying page not found.
Is that, I don't know.
I'm not sure.
My guy's still not moving.
I'm at 2 minutes, not moving real fast. That's okay. Has anyone ever bought any of the resale badges? So the quote unquote resale badges, they don't really do badge resales anymore. They used to, but they haven't in many years. I think like 2014, maybe it was last year that they did it. But what they have done the last couple of years is the museum has auctioned off on eBay some badges. And those are definitely always more than retail value, basically. But it's usually not terrible. It's usually about twice the price of what a badge, if you purchased it here, would be. But if you need to attend last minute, or if you just didn't get a badge and you really want to attend, they auction off quite a few. So yep. Page not found page comes up, click on login, and it will proceed to your purchase options. Okay, I'm gonna tweet this real quick.
Oh, and by the way, while all this was going down, I'm missing the Penn State game. So if anybody knows the score of the Penn State Michigan game, what do we got?
Okay, so this is a question on Twitter, but I'm going to answer it in here. If this is truly a random selection, how do they know my wait time? I call shenanigans, not a random poll. It's online. So the way that this works is basically we're all in the waiting room. They randomize us, and then it will show you your time. So you have already been randomized. The randomization happened at 10 Pacific time, basically on the dot. But that is when the randomization happened. That is like if people click to enter the waiting room at the same time, like one person may have had 4 minutes and one person may be still sitting at over an hour. So.
Okay, you guys are wrong. It is now 13-7. Penn State just scored. So I knew this was going to be a rough game. Anyway.
People are still getting through. We're at about 14 minutes past the hour. As far as I'm aware, preview night is still available.
I am still on more than an hour on all of mine.
Can anyone explain Running Man and Green Bar status change? It does not match the estimated wait time. The Running Man and Green bar status change. I mean, it should roughly equal the estimated wait time. Like if you've got 4 minutes, the little running man should be close to the end. If you're at more than an hour, the little running man is probably pretty close to the start. And that, I mean, that's basically, it's a rough approximation. It's not like exact. We got file not found. If preview night gets sold out, we're able to get all 4 days. Are we able to get preview night at the general sale? Yes. In case that you do not purchase today, you can grab an open registration.
Mine still hasn't changed. Carrie, how are you doing?
I am at 28 minutes.
Okay.
Someone asked, is there any chance of it saying 1 hour, but then randomly advancing you to the purchase page? I doubt it would randomly advance you all the way to the purchase page, but I do think that it could easily go from like over an hour to like 15 minutes, especially as we get closer to like the end.
That's weird. You know, I double checked my wife's user ID with her. I hope she got it right. This is fun.
Sorry, guys. I'm sure this is like super riveting podcast.
I know you're watching us like click through windows. It's amazing.
Thrilling, absolutely thrilling. Okay. Preview night, it looks like is still available. So far at least we are currently
working in a buying group. Remember, you will not be able to purchase badges if your member ID is currently being used in another registration session or badges were already bought for you. I think that's why we were having a little difficulty getting for my wife. Because her login is being used.
That shouldn't be the case though.
It shouldn't, but the way I read that, it looks like that's how they have it set up.
Read it one more time, slower.
You will not be able to purchase badges if your member ID is currently being used in another registration session.
That's the registration session, not the waiting room.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you got a point. So I don't know. That's weird.
We'll get it sorted.
Yes.
Okay. If you only want to buy a badge today for, let's say, Sunday, can you buy again at open registration to try for a different date? Yes. During open registration, you can absolutely get anything that you did not purchase today.
Absolutely.
And Rice said, wait, you can't buy for someone else who's also in the queue. No, I don't think that's the case. In fact, I'm positive that that's not the case, because otherwise, like, no one would have been able to purchase Lisa on our team's badge, for instance.
It's confusing. I don't know why they're having a problem.
Okay, got my badges, including preview night. Okay, all right. If you guys get through and see that preview night is sold out, please let us know.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Looks like Call Me Craven just mentioned in the chat, just got in, preview is gone.
preview night's gone. Okay.
If I purchase a 4-day badge today, can I purchase a preview night under Pro? I believe so, yes.
What was the question?
If they buy their badge today, can they get preview night under as Pro?
If you were a pro, I'm pretty sure the only way you can purchase a badge is all 4 days plus preview night. Like, I don't think you get to pick and choose your days. Like, it's an all or nothing kind of a thing.
Okay.
Someone correct me if I'm wrong. But basically, if you are a professional and you decided to claim a professional badge, you would have to refund whatever badge you purchase for yourself here.
I am still at more than an hour.
Cool. Yeah, someone else confirmed was only all days. So yeah, you can't like mix and match like that. Still over an hour for some people. Other people are getting through. Is preview night really gone? I mean, somebody said that, but if anybody else wants to confirm that.
I saw several people mention that in the chat, so
Okay,
I'm pretty sure
perfect.
It's gone.
Perfect. Okay, so based on, we're basically, so far, we seem to be about on 2019 timing. So then the next thing that sold out was, it took 40 minutes for Saturday to sell out. So we were at about 21 minutes into the sale. So if that is the case, we've still got ways to go.
Still more than an hour. Yeah, all my stuff is still more than an hour right now, but my walking man is moving, so
that's good.
Things are getting through. It's just I'm at the back of the bus.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny. My wife went to work this morning and she said, if you don't get badges for me, don't worry about it. I'm not as into it as you are. Please don't have a panic attack. Remember, open registration comes up. Just don't panic if you don't get it today, because she knows how I am.
That's right. That's right. Someone said preview night is on page 2. It's weird. I thought it was sold out too. So I don't know. Maybe preview night is not sold out. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. They updated the message. It says, are you working in a badge buying group? We strongly suggest working with people you personally know and trust. If someone from your buying group is caught selling their badge, all badges in that order will be canceled, including yours. Don't risk it.
Yep. All right.
Let's see here. How's Twitter looking?
Twitter's good. Twitter's still making it through. Okay, I went ahead and I deleted the preview night tweet until we're very certain.
Yeah.
Someone said I got badges for every day just now.
Oops. This is funny. Comic-Con badges secured after 2 hours. Now I can sleep. Seeing quite a few sighs of relief on Twitter. That's nice.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
How much time before we sold out of everything last time? It took 59 minutes.
Yeah, just under a full hour.
Yes, these sales have taken everywhere from about an hour
Okay.
to an hour and a half
Pre-
normally.
Preview night was not available for me just now.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
And yes, I'm also watching Twitter for live updates on the game. So don't worry, I'm still focused on Comic-Con.
Okay, how much are tickets? It is to get 4 days plus preview night was $330. There's also a $10 handling fee for each badge that you purchase. Individual prices, you can find that up on our site or when you get through to purchase. Let's see here. If I am not logged in, what will be the process upon getting redirected? You should be prompted to log in if that is the case.
Okay, so this is weird. Comic-Con just tweeted that preview night inventory is running low.
Yeah,
But I was just in there and preview night was not an option.
One of our
Oh.
other team members is in there and it looks like she's seeing it. So this is really weird.
Super weird.
I don't know.
As if it weren't confusing enough before.
Super weird. Yeah. I don't know, kids. FBM said got through preview night is still available. Okay, so
All
right. I don't know. I'm gonna tweet something like we're not crazy.
Well, we are, but just not about this.
Whew. So make sure you have the person's member ID spelled exactly correctly and their last name, because if you don't, then you will not be able to buy for them. Yes, you would select all 4 days. If preview night was available, you select all 4 days. And then on the next page, you have the option of selecting preview night as a separate purchase. And then it adds all of them, if you select them all, to your cart. So that's what's going on now. It's just lots of purchasing.
Yeah, lots and lots of purchasing.
Still seeing a few page not found.
Yeah, that happened to me at the start. And I just kept clicking the back button or the refresh or something like that. And it loaded after like the second or third try of trying things like that. And then it got into the page for actually purchasing.
I love all the people in the chat trying to explain to you how to purchase preview night. So James had 2 sessions going. He got thrown one and he was able to purchase preview night. So I think he knows how to purchase preview night. But then when his second session got through, he couldn't. So again, it's not a matter of like, we don't know how to do it. I just wanted to make that clear. So I don't know what that means. If he was not seeing it, and
actually,
other people were not seeing it, other people
FYI, on that purchase, the first 2 people I added that I was purchasing for, the first 2 got preview night. The third one, it was gone. So it was available and then not available on the same purchase.
That's interesting.
Comic-Con just tweeted out something. Let me see what that is. Due to Kiewit's shopping cart feature, a few people may be selected for a registration session and find that badge inventory is unavailable. We apologize for the inconvenience. This is not an error. It means all available badges are in other members' carts.
So that's probably what happened. Everyone put it in and then I got locked out. And then if I had just tried again a few minutes later and waited a second, it might have been there because preview night is apparently available still. So it's essentially going to be coming and going until it actually is gone and people actually check out with it.
I mean, that makes sense, especially if they're saying it's in other members' carts. Yeah. So that may explain it. Like maybe somebody added it to a cart and then didn't check out with it. Who knows?
Fantastic Bagel or any night sold out? Looks like not yet. So we'll see. Acre 73 says, my running man has an attitude, no running. He's on a leisurely stroll. And I think he's stopping to chat along the way. Looks like mine is right next to yours, Acre, because mine's doing the same thing. I think he's stopping to pick up a snack along the way. Carrie, how are you doing? Where are you at?
I'm good. I'm at 15 minutes.
15?
Yeah, it seems like we've got most of the people.
So there are some people who still have an hour or more on theirs, which is
that's me.
Not looking good for them at this point. But we shall see how it goes because, I mean, it's still going. It just depends on how fast they're letting people in. An hour may be fine for at least getting one day if they're letting people in really slowly.
And since preview night isn't really sold out yet.
Yeah, I think for many of us, our time just went up. Mine just jumped from 15 to 26, and just everybody in the chat is now going, no, my time just went up. So honestly, you know what I bet happened? I wonder if Comic-Con just started to let people through slower so that inventory does not disappear the way that it did for James.
Possibly.
Like our chat is going nuts because everybody's super mad right now that their time just went up. But it's not just you, everybody's time went up.
The thing is, the time can change, but your place in line is still the same.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you were going to get in 5,000th, you're still 5,000th in line.
It looks like we've got confirmation that they are going to use RFID this year. The little yellow message bar says, our badges are equipped with RFID technology. So if you're worried about bad shipping, fear not. Any badges that are stolen / eaten by a troll / destroyed in the mail can be turned off, and we will issue you a new one on site. Usually they charge, I think it's a $25 fee for that, but yes, they'll give you a new one.
And some people's times are apparently going back down. So everybody just breathe. It's okay. It's okay.
Peaks and valleys, folks. Peaks and valleys.
It's okay. All okay. Like James said, even if your time changes, that does not mean that your place in line changed.
Clearly, none of us has the nerve or the constitution to be like stock market traders or anything.
The sales room does not close until the sale is done. Someone asked if it closes at 11 a.m. Pacific. I was like, no, it's going to stay until they sell all the badges.
Or until they decide to stop.
Which the time to stop is usually when it sells out because it takes about an hour. So hour and a half, depending on how fast they let people in. So we will see. I think we got another 45 minutes to an hour maybe before it's done.
So much fun.
So much fun. Just riveting conversation here, guys. We know.
Yeah,
we
really.
know.
I mean,
I mean, the good news is maybe it sounds like preview night actually isn't sold out. Like I don't even know. People are still making it through. So you know what? I'm just gonna again delete these tweets because I don't fucking know.
every time someone makes it through the waiting room, an angel gets its wings.
this is not random because it's not a random poll. So again, the randomization happened at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Okay, so we were all in a waiting room, and then it randomized us. And now, whatever your place and line is, that's what the little green walking man represents. Okay, is now how close you are. But it's not based on like how fast you entered the waiting room. It's not based on anything except it randomized you. It is the exact same system as the hotel sale. Okay, it's just at the hotel sale, the randomization you get through in like 10 minutes max, whereas this is apparently more than an hour.
All right. Beach City Bum says, my wife got through on her account. We were able to purchase a badge for a friend, but it could not find my long-standing username/last name combo. I took a screenshot. Is it worth contacting SDCC? That depends. Have you logged into your member ID since they've updated to the new system? If you didn't, that might be why they can't find you.
I'm just straight up going to delete people from my list to make it less confusing.
Or if you're in a buying group and someone put you into their thing because you're in that group of people trying to buy, then you can't put it in as well. It won't let you do it in two different sessions, and it's whichever one goes first gets it. If you're in and being used by someone, you're not going to be able to purchase. Or even it'll just not let you use that member ID.
Yeah.
But yes, remember the time changing up or down is because they are either letting in more people or not letting in people currently, and the time is adjusting based on how often they're letting people in or not letting people in. So the time going up doesn't change your place in line. It just means that they're not letting in as many people currently, and the system is automatically adjusting the time based on the weight of how many people they're letting in.
Trickle deluge. Trickle deluge.
Yep. Okay, well, people are still getting preview night. So again, I don't know, kids.
Yeah.
I mean,
It sounds like
James, I trust that like you know what you were doing, considering you bought it for other people.
Yeah, it went through just fine on the others, and then just I guess it was that one time that the system thought that they were gone because they were in everybody's carts, and then they weren't. I don't know.
I don't know either, but I believe that you're not crazy, even if I think our readers don't. Okay, so people not eligible are buying tickets. No, that is not what's happening. Because again, you still have to like enter in an eligible member ID.
Yeah. Let's see. Someone asked if someone bought my badge already, but I'm still in line to try and buy for others. Will I be allowed to log in? Very confused. You probably will have to buy for or log in as someone else if you can't log in. So if you try logging in and it doesn't let you, then just get the other person's login, hopefully someone that trusts you and you trust, and then log in as them and then buy their badges for them.
Yeah, I'm seeing tweets. Hey, badge inventory update, please. Yeah, we would definitely like one of those.
Dee Dee Henley says we just purchased tickets for 4 days plus preview night. So congratulations. So there you go.
And all my strolling mans are still at more than an hour.
I'm back to 15 minutes. Was it 15 minutes before? Now I'm back there.
Time travel is possible.
I mean, the preview night not showing could have very well been user error. I mean, I could have done something wrong and not clicked a button and then changed it and then not gone back to get preview night. So who knows? I mean, it could have been user error. But it doesn't matter because, it's all but preview night. It's still great. Who person I bought for, you're still going for 4 days and, they're fine. They'll probably just try and get preview night in open reg or something. So, yeah.
Yes. We didn't go to preview night for many, many, many years.
Many years.
Yeah, because we were throwing you guys a party. So.
And then we got smart and we're like, put the party on Sunday so we can go to preview night. And then we're like, preview night is awesome. But also preview night is very crowded, and so it just depends on if you want preview night and if you like preview night.
Yeah, for sure.
So it looks like
I agree, Sir Lister of Smeg. I am going to blame Canada. Thank you.
Don't blame Canada. There are
Okay.
good friends to the north.
But they're so nice, and they'll be like, "Oh, shucks, sorry.
No,
What's that all about? Oh, yeah, sorry."
Sorry.
Okay.
Looks like I'm seeing some tweets saying
Some
that.
RWD said, I was just able to get preview night, but upon finishing order was alerted preview night was gone and had to remove it, then finish purchase. So what I'm not going to do is tweet.
Yeah.
Because I've done that like 4 times now. So we're gonna, yeah.
So now it might be sold out. It is officially running low on the yellow message,
Yes.
right? Or do they tweet that as well?
No, that's on the yellow bar. And I just saw someone on Twitter that was 2 people who were both just able to secure 4-day with preview night. So
Yeah, so people that were in and checking out probably and had it in their carts are probably okay as they were finishing up. People that are just getting into the purchasing now may be seeing that preview night is running low or waitlisted or maybe even gone in the next few minutes.
yeah, just saw another one that got preview night as well.
Yeah, so who the heck knows?
Yeah.
Again, what I will say is that I think what Comic-Con tweeted about it being in people's carts means that likely people are not seeing the same inventory necessarily across devices.
Yeah.
And people might just be sticking stuff in their carts just to have it there, and then they get rid of it later.
So again, this is good. I mean, even if preview night is still available, we are 42 minutes into the sale, and this is the longest I think preview night has ever still been available.
Tweet just went out. Preview night badges have sold out.
Okay, I'm going to retweet them because then it's not on me. if people keep going. Okay, so again, 42 minutes though to sell out, which is the longest it has ever been. So that is good news. Okay, so for all you people who want Saturday, I mean, I said in 2019, it took 19 minutes for preview night to sell out and 40 minutes for Saturday to sell out. We're 41 minutes in and preview night just sold out. So if your time clock started at over an hour, I mean, there is definitely still hope for you.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, people that actually have it in their carts now will still be able to check out with it because they're counting you as sold, even if you haven't actually finalized the purchase yet. So if you say, well, they announced it sold out and I just bought it, well, that's why. If you log in right now and you get into the sale and preview night is still there, then you can call Comic-Con liars for saying it was available. But then maybe someone didn't check out. Maybe they canceled the checkout and didn't put preview night, and now one of them became available. Who knows? But it's definitely a thing here that they just said it's sold out. So
they just tweeted that Saturday inventory
Saturday
is
running low. Okay. Well, that normally doesn't happen quite that fast back to back, but I guess they tweeted preview night was running low, or they posted a while back. So
let's think about that. Maybe now they are having a lot more badges on preview night than they used to.
Could be. I mean, I also think though it said preview night is running low for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, they might just be letting people in slower.
Yeah. So I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and see. That is the general mood today. Is we're just gonna have to wait and see. I am at 6 minutes now though, so that's closer.
Now is that 6 minutes enough to get Saturday or not?
I know.
I guess it depends on how many people have it in their cart.
Oh. Yeah, everyone has to remember to take a breath every once in a while, right?
Exactly.
Yes. Jeff Burns said it did feel like there were less people at SDCC this year, so that might be why it took longer for things to sell. I don't think that would be the case because
then you add back in the people who are at special edition. So if there was,
yeah,
10,000 fewer people at Comic-Con, there may be 10,000 people from special edition who get to try for tickets too. So I think it's probably going to be roughly the same.
yes, I think if anything, I think the reason why it's slower to sell out is because they like lowered how many people they're letting through. That's what I think.
Probably because they wanted to make sure the system didn't crash.
Which is good. We like that. I don't mind sitting here for an extra hour if it means the sale actually happens.
And honestly, so far, I think they've handled it fairly well. I mean, little glitches at first, but at least they fixed it.
Yeah. Okay. My member ID and last name couldn't be found despite checking my eligibility earlier this week. Okay, so what may be happening is Comic-Con at some point posted about like, sure, your last name matches exactly with whatever is in your member ID. So it's entirely possible that like if your last name has a special character or if it's hyphenated or who knows what, like maybe they have it in there like slightly different than you were typing it and it has to match exactly. So that is possibly what's happening.
Ooh.
All right. Well, Dexter, you seem super happy. Please say that they're not going to waste our time and money with another special edition. I didn't go to special edition, but it sounded like a lot of fun. But it also sounds like a convention that will not be happening again because it basically just happened like as a one-off because they hadn't been able to have a convention in a year and a half, and they wanted some kind of revenue stream. But yeah, it is my understanding that that's not going to be like a yearly thing.
And again, it depends on what you were going for. We weren't expecting any offsites, and we got Peacemaker. So
yeah,
we actually got more
awesome
than we expected.
N. Rice asked, when they say match exactly, does case matter? I'm pretty sure it does.
I think so, yeah.
I think so, but I do not know the answer to that question.
All right. I just saw a tweet that says preview night was still available when they purchased, even after Comic-Con said they were sold out. So that was why.
I'm going to disappear.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, now we got to fill time without Carrie.
Great. I got to talk to you, James.
I know, right?
Okay. I do have a topic.
Okay.
I've been trying to kind of wrap my head around the Star Wars timeline with Solo, with the Solo movie in it. So Darth Maul got cut in half.
Yes.
At the end of episode 1.
Correct.
But Solo takes place after the formation of the Empire.
Yes. So what happens is you have to watch Clone Wars, which had 7 seasons. And in I think it's either the 3rd or 4th season, he comes back and he is currently like on this trash planet with a spider leg type mechanical lower half. And then he gets robot legs and then goes on a rampage with his Dathomir brother, Savage Opress, and eventually challenges the Emperor and loses, of course.
Of course.
But then starts rebuilding and actually becomes the guy who is in control of the criminal underworld. He takes over Mandalore and he does all kinds of stuff, all in the name of revenge on Kenobi, essentially, and, being powerful and all that. So
yeah.
At the end of basically he appears again in Rebels, which happens after Solo. So Solo is just kind of in that space in between Clone Wars and Rebels where he is the king of the underworld.
Now it makes sense. Thank you. All right, I gotta watch Clone Wars then. I just watched
Clone Wars is awesome. It starts a little slow for some people. and it doesn't really kick off. But of course, it also features Ahsoka, who is, in my opinion, probably one of the top 3 characters in all of Star Wars. And you get to see her growth from Padawan to what she becomes, and so it's pretty awesome. And Rebels, I think, actually is probably the greatest Star Wars storytelling and characters that I might have seen, bar the original trilogy, because it's incredible. If you really care about the characters, and again, it does start a little slow for some, but it's amazing.
Yeah. All right. I'll have to check those out because I just watched Bad Batch.
Right.
Honestly,
immediately after.
Yeah.
Bad Batch starts immediately after the Clone Wars ends, basically, because the Clone Wars ends with Order 66.
Got it. Okay. All right. I'll catch up.
Yes, there was your 3 minutes of Star Wars talk with James. Oh, someone mentions Andor. Andor is amazing. That show is incredible. Cannot wait every week for that.
And I've seen people give it a bad rap. Some people don't like it, but honestly, I think it's going pretty well.
It is. And some people, I think the biggest complaint people had for the first bit was that it was slow and it was lots of building. And I'm like, but then you got to know the characters and you got to build the world and you got to see into just what it takes and what it is to be living in the Star Wars universe at that time. And it's incredible. And it's going to be, we're only halfway through the season and then there's been so much that has happened. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. I love it. Can't wait for it every week.
Kevin asked, how can I watch Bad Batch and not the Clone Wars? I'm weird, man.
It was current. It was coming out every week. So yeah,
I'm just weird. I don't know why I miss Clone Wars. Yeah. Slipped through the cracks in my Star Wars.
All the people are saying that Andor is a Star Wars snooze fest. I'm like, I don't see it, people. I mean, did you watch all the way through to the 6th episode? I mean, it is, as the show creator put it, is I think there was something about if you have to make deposits before you can cash the check. So you have to put in the work to get the result and have that thing that's coming. And yeah, so I mean, come on, he's the guy who fixed Rogue One. He came in at the end of it and basically made Rogue One into the epicness that it is. If you think Rogue One wasn't a great movie, then maybe you won't like Andor.
I like that Xavier.
But it's a prequel to Rogue One. It's the 5 years, right? It's Andor is the 5 years leading up to Rogue One, so it is a prequel. Anyway, Carrie's back.
Yay!
I leave for 5 minutes and you guys start talking Star Wars.
We had to fill time.
Oh, that is funny. That's good though. Okay, well, Andy, I did get your wife, so she's
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem. No problem. All right, so people are still making it through. At this point, we are just waiting for Comic-Con to tweet that Saturday is gone, but as of right this second, it is still available.
Yeah, my wait times are still more than an hour, so they haven't moved.
Yes. Yeah, I had a second session. One is at 41 minutes. Woo.
So I'm gonna talk a little bit more. So Fred Campbell asked, did you like Resistance? And so I'll talk about that for a second since we have a minute. So Rebels and Clone Wars were both technically made for kids, just like technically Lucas says Star Wars was made for kids, like all of it that he made. But Resistance was decidedly made for kids, much more than Rebels and Clone Wars was. And so I enjoyed it, but it definitely wasn't made for me, but it had enough in there that was cool enough that I did actually enjoy it. And it had a lot of, like pratfall kind of stuff and the stuff that George Lucas really likes, the goofiness, but it was still enjoyable. But if you don't like content that was really geared for kids, then it's probably not going to be your cup of tea. Which I am sad my tea is gone.
So is my coffee.
So Saturday is still available so far.
I haven't seen any tweets or notifications to the otherwise. Still seeing a lot of success stories on Twitter.
Yeah. A suggestion by Alfredo is if you get the page not found, once you do get into the shopping cart, click the login button. I think that's probably what I did is I refreshed and it didn't do anything. And then I clicked the login and then it did work. So I just couldn't remember what I did because I was, like you go crazy doing this thing.
Yeah.
Whew. Okay.
Yeah, really.
So people are starting to get under an hour who have been sitting there over an hour for a long time. But I mean, there's still probably people that are still sitting there over an hour, which is, man.
That's okay though. That's okay though. Again, this seems to be going much slower than a normal year, which I think is because they're letting people through slower, I think, so it doesn't crash, which is fine. Right. Like, again, I know it sucks to sit here for that much longer, but the important thing is that it happens and it works.
Right.
That's the truly important part here. So. Yeah.
And that's probably what the problem was at the beginning. They basically opened it too far. They couldn't handle all the traffic. So I think they might have kind of bottlenecked their ports a little bit.
Who knows? I mean, I'm sure they have some idea of like what went wrong, but yeah, it does seem to be going much better at this exact second. So that's good.
Rosalie and Bill asked, is that right? $10 service charge for each username? Yes. $10 per person that you're buying for service charge.
It was $7.50, but they've upped it to $10. Yeah.
I see people are still getting 4 days.
Are usernames case sensitive? Absolutely. I'm pretty sure they are. So, I mean, just try and be sure if you're not. So there's a couple things that can go wrong. And that's if someone is already logged in, if you're in a group thing and someone else typed them in, then you won't be able to. So it may not be working because of that. It could be because you spelled it wrong. Yeah. Someone may have sent you the wrong thing with like one letter extra or missing.
Yeah.
So there could be lots of reasons.
Yeah. Or again, the last names have to match exactly. Like Andy, that was actually the issue with your wife. Is she has like the two last names hyphenated. Yeah. So that's, there's a million things that could be slightly different.
So Carrie, which artists are you looking forward to getting commissions from again? Besides Patrick Ballesteros.
Grace and Joshua both say not case sensitive. They confirmed.
Okay, not case sensitive. That's awesome. I've already decided that like my number one thing I want to try to get is to get Brianna Cherry Garcia to do Good Omens this year because I know she watches that and I think she'd do a good job. Beyond that, I don't know. We'll see.
And Dan asked if you can buy a ticket for someone who didn't go last year. If you get in with returning, no, it's only for people who were there. So they have to have had returning registration eligibility through attending Comic-Con last year or Comic-Con Special Edition. Those are the only two groups of people who can purchase in today's sale.
Yep, that is correct.
Theoretically, although we're seeing some rumors that say otherwise, theoretically, yes, if they're only eligible if they went to CCSE or SDCC 2022.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Over our gang. Yeah. That's I know it sucks, but again, even if right now it says over an hour, I don't know that that's cause to think like you're not going to get anything. This is going considerably slower.
Yeah.
Than a normal sale. And especially like once Saturday sells out, I also think those times will start dropping because I think people will start dropping off. We'll see if that winds up being the case, but I'm willing to bet. And again, no matter what happens today, this is like the bonus sale because you always have another chance in open registration. Okay.
And yes, if you already are covered and you want to help other members in your group, of course, stay in and just log in as someone else, or start the process as someone else when it's time. You don't have to purchase for yourself if you make it in, if you're already purchased for.
Yep.
Also, if anybody actually did try on mobile and get through,
actually, that
let
is
us
a
how
wonderful
that
question.
went. Let us know how that
I'm
went.
going to tweet that and ask. Anyone use mobile? I am also serious.
Yeah, I have never had success or any luck whatsoever with the member ID site on mobile.
It's just not a pleasant user experience on mobile.
It really isn't. And I know they say they're working on it, and I have no doubt they are, but it's a hassle.
Okay. Well, Matthew's Ranch said my cell phone worked perfectly fine. All right.
Okay.
Cool. Fair enough. And somebody else in the chat, Matt Cohen, said someone in our group got thrown an Android phone. So
okay.
Someone said open registration is next to impossible. That is not true. You can absolutely make it through during open registration. Like, are your chances less good here? Yes, probably. But look, especially if you use a buying group, like we have hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of people tweet us like every year, like I didn't get anything in returning registration, but I got it in open registration. Like it is not next to impossible. It is absolutely possible. The trick with all of these sales is basically to not do it on your own and to work in a badge buying group. If you do not have a badge buying group, my suggestion would be to go join one of the Facebook groups on Facebook. There's several. Eric Arriga runs one, Parks and Cons runs one. There's several. Go find one of them. I see posts all the time with people being like, hey, does anybody want to form a badge buying group? It is absolutely not that hard to find one. So that is my suggestion.
CCI just tweeted Friday inventory is running low.
Okay, but they have not tweeted that Saturday is sold out. So
correct, yeah.
And they tweeted that Saturday was running low almost 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so I think you've got a while. Yeah, so someone said Thursday is low. Or I don't think Thursday is low.
Yeah, I think Thursday's just in people's carts.
Yeah.
And for everybody, just for the record, all three of my windows still say more than an hour.
I have one other one open at 18 minutes, and we've got purchase for everybody in our group. So I'm actually going to try to just log in with my member ID because I'm pressed. So I am not eligible for this sale. So I just want to see like if it boots me.
Interesting.
I'm not going to purchase anything. I'm done purchasing. Don't worry about that. Like I said, I just want to see if it boots me. That's all I want to see. So
well, I am going to take a quick self-care break. I'll be right back.
Do it. My running man stopped walking. All of this team. Your running man will walk again, I promise. Anyone else get page not found? If you get page not found, just like click over to log in. I got in, but the site is crashing. Hopefully that's not true. Tip: if you get tickets for a day you can't go, you can show up a day you don't have a ticket for. Explain that you didn't go on your no. Okay. That's right. I'm doing it for science, Bridget. I just want to see what happens. Like we've had several people tell us that like they've heard that other people have been able to get through, and I'm like, is that really the case, or are you just speculating?
Itzel asked if I can only get one day during this registration, can I buy another day during open? Absolutely. Any day that you didn't purchase for in this one is an option for you to purchase if it's available in open registration.
Yes, yes. And we are still seeing people right now getting through with all 4 days. So I would expect Saturday to probably go here relatively soon. But right now, people are definitely still getting through with all 4 days. And this is fantastic, honestly. Like, this is, I feel like the vast majority of people right now have been saying that they've been getting through. So that's wonderful.
If it lets you through and it says page not found, click the login button on the menu and see if that gets you to the purchasing.
Yes.
If you get some kind of other error, make sure you're taking screenshots and maybe hit the refresh button, because your place in line is supposed to be guaranteed based on your ID. So if that ID stays the same, it should let you in if it refreshes correctly.
Okay. Jeremy said, I just tried logging in as an ineligible member ID. It let me log in, but then kicked me back to the queue when I tried to click on a day. That makes sense. I'm still going to try just because I like to.
Drunk Obi-Wan asked, if I purchase for friends, will the badges be shipped to me or individually to their respective addresses? They will be shipped to the address of the badge holder, correct?
Correct. And make sure that you check that address by a certain date, and there is a cutoff date.
It's usually like in May, isn't it?
It's usually pretty late. Badge shipping.
But there is an address for shipping. You have a shipping address. So this is a good time to mention. Go ahead.
It's your primary shipping address, and it looks like there is no date right now for the cutoff, at least on the page I'm looking at. But yeah.
And for international attendees, you can absolutely put in a shipping address that is in the Americas to ship to a friend, so that they can ship it and you don't have to pick it up on site.
Yes. Though I will say for WonderCon, that did not work for us, weirdly. Like, we put it in, never got the badge.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's okay. We just picked it up on site.
Oscar asked, if Saturday sells out today, does that mean it will not be available to anyone during open registration? Absolutely not. They only sell a portion of all days during returning registration, and then everything is reset and they have another amount allocated of all days for open registration.
Are these tickets returnable? Yes. Okay. So you can get a badge refund. They keep 10%. And there is a deadline. Let me go see what it is real quick. The deadline for refunds is May 12th. Okay. And again, all refunds are subject to a 10% processing fee.
So Nick asked, why does it say this product requires membership access unavailable to participant when I try to add to the cart? Likely because the participant is not eligible for returning registration, whether they be a pro, right?
Or alternatively, it's entirely possible that someone has already purchased badges for that person.
Right. So it's because they're just not allowed to buy for some reason.
Yes. So they either, like James said, either they're not eligible or someone else already got their badges for them. And today's a crazy day. Like, sometimes groups don't always communicate that well with each other. Sometimes, like, if you've got a spreadsheet, maybe somebody forgot to, mark off that they purchased badges for somebody and they don't even know that they have badges.
Samantha asks, can you return just a particular day or do you have to return them all? I think you can just return one day, correct? Because you're purchasing them individually. They don't actually make it a 4-day badge until they ship them out. So so
here's the deal. I know last year they said you could not just keep one day. Like, if you wanted to refund, you had to refund the whole thing. So I don't know though if that's just because badges had rolled over forever.
Maybe that's why. Yeah. So I guess we'll have to wait and see what the rules are this year when they do put up the information about returning or refunding.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of several paragraphs. I was trying to skim these and see what they say.
Still seeing a lot of people in the chat asking about if they can still buy for open reg. Yes, whatever you don't get today, you can get, or you can shoot for at open reg. As long as you haven't bought all 4 days plus preview night, you're also eligible to participate in open registration coming up later on. So you can pick up anything you don't get here at that.
Okay, I'm looking at the refund request and nowhere on here does it specify like being able to request which days only you want to refund. It just basically asks for member ID, first name and last name. So it may be the same case as it was last year, where you have to refund the whole thing or not at all. But if you have a special situation where, like, let's say you applied for professional or press and you're not currently eligible, so you purchase a badge today, but then later you get like a free badge through one of those, like, just reach out to Comic-Con. A lot of times they're very willing to like help you out, especially if it's a situation like that. Absolutely makes sense. Like, oh yeah.
John asked that if I had checked out and my card is declined, would they give me the chance to use a new card or cancel the order?
Okay, so in the past, they have called you on the actual telephone and said, hey, your card didn't go through. Can we get a new card? Now, again, this seems to be a slightly different situation. I'm not sure if that was actual Expo Logic who was doing that. So I'm not sure if Configio, which appears to be the new parent company, like if they do that. But I know in the past, they would call you. So brave new world. I don't know what happens now. I got in, it said page won't load, did reblog, got in, got all days, went to pay, said no Wednesday. I tried to remove it, it wouldn't remove it, and time ran out. That sucks, Todd. That sucks a lot.
All right, I'm going to be back in just a minute.
You're fine.
Have fun.
You're fine. Okay, I am at 3 minutes for my session logging in. So again, for science, I just want to see what happens if I try to put in my actual member ID. Page won't load. Seeing several people getting the page won't load.
Yep.
I think if it says page won't load, I mean, refresh, see what it says, see what it does. Got 4 days, not preview night. Seems like people are still getting through getting all 4 days. So that's fantastic. A volunteer question.
All right. Ted Peterson asked, volunteer question, what is the latest volunteer shift? Honestly, I am not sure. Shifts are going to be, trying to think, it would be, oh, sorry, I just got a tweet that Saturday was sold out. The latest shift would probably be 4 hours before the, actually, no, it would be the last room assignments in any of the panel rooms that are going on after the exhibit floor closes. So however late the panels go is however late you can volunteer for that day.
Makes sense. So Saturday is sold out now.
Yep.
So Friday will be the next day to go, but it hasn't gone yet. And I am less than a minute on my one session. So let's see what this does.
All 4 days still available? No, Saturday just sold out. Okay, Geek Guy says he did 9 to midnight before for Hall H during Force Awakens. Yes, line monitors for Hall H. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Although this past year, the line monitor for Indigo was hilarious. She was sitting there and just saying, I'm getting sunburnt and thirsty.
Okay, I am logging in. I mean, it's let me log in. So if I try to add a day and I click, okay, if I click add a cart, it says product requires membership access unavailable to participant.
Okay, so if you're not eligible, theoretically, you shouldn't be able to buy.
Yep. Okay, all right, I'm gonna close that.
So quiet. Is something happening?
Oh, I was just testing to see if it would let me. It did not. So, I mean, we've seen a couple of people who have said that they have seen people get through and be able to purchase badges for people who were not eligible, but I just tried, just to test. And it says product requires membership access unavailable to participants. So, I mean, I guess it's not impossible, but it certainly didn't work on my end. Okay.
And if they didn't attend Comic-Con 2022, did they attend Comic-Con Special Edition? Because that also made people eligible. So there's a bunch of considerations to take in.
Okay, Cassidy says, it says an email will be sent within the next 72 hours if your card is declined, and you will have the opportunity to use a different payment option. So we got asked about that a minute ago. So
yep.
Good to know. Oh no, Melissa says Saturday sold out mid-purchase for me. That's sad. It's always sad. Okay. Saturday, yeah.
Saturday sold out right when I was clicking submit. Definitely will be trying and open for Saturday. Yeah, I hate when that happens.
Checking out the pros.
Metal Mama 75 asks, what happens if I'm eligible, but it doesn't recognize my member ID with my last name and I have been on the new site? Make sure that your member ID and last name match what's in CCI's system. If that's still not working, I would say you'd have to contact CCI and see what's going on.
Yeah, and think about it. Like I said, like if there's any special characters in your name, or if it's possible your last name is hyphenated, just think about what the different possibilities are there.
Yeah. When is open registration? Soon.
Has not been announced yet.
Has not been announced, probably within the next couple of months, but we'll see.
Okay, yeah, so along this exact same line of what we were just saying, the Flectorian tweeted us, so one issue we ran across is when you search for a user / last name, if the last name has a junior, the second, the third, etc., that you have to have the comma and the rest of the fix. So the last name has to be whatever SDCC has exactly. And that's very true. And they did post, and I guess maybe we should have retweeted it. Did post to make sure, again, like maybe even like take a screenshot of exactly how the name appears in your member ID. So we will suggest that for open registration for sure. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Yeah, my little walking dudes are still walking, but I'm still saying that more than an hour. So we're just going to edit out the long silences, right? Or are we going to keep it in to give everybody the full experience?
Oh no, this is live, Andy. I mean, surely you know that. It's just the sale is what it is. And hopefully this has been entertaining and informative. We try, guys. Like, we are not entertainers.
Blue asked, is Sunday worth going to? Absolutely.
Yes, for sure.
It may be a little crowded on the show floor, but there is still stuff that happens. And of course, if you don't mind the crowds, it is great to walk around and shop and see things. And you never know, might get a deal.
Yeah, well, sometimes there's really fun panels on Sunday. Like Doctor Who has been on a Sunday before. I had a great time at What We Do in the Shadows this year. The Funko panel, which had an awesome giveaway, was on Sunday this year. So there's good stuff on Sunday.
Yeah. So currently Saturday and preview night are the only two things sold out, correct?
Yes. Friday is still available.
And remember, guys, whatever you don't get now, you can try for an open reg.
Yes, absolutely. And I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just anecdotal, but I feel like way more people are getting in this time than normal. I mean, maybe when the sale ends and we have 2,000 people tweet us, no. My opinion will change. But right now, it seems like it's mostly happy people. So
yeah,
So-
I'm seeing a lot of happy people in the tag.
And just remember, since we see the questions regularly, yes, if you don't purchase now, or if you don't purchase all days for yourself now, you will be eligible to try an open registration for yourself or other people.
yeah.
Hello? Will preview night still be available in open reg? Absolutely.
Yes.
Everything becomes available again because, again, they're not selling everything for all days or even just one day during returning registration. It's a percentage of all available tickets. What that percentage is, we don't know.
Iron Souls just said people in my buying group are having issues getting Sundays for whatever reason, which should not be the case because Sunday is typically the last one to sell out.
Maybe
So-
everyone wants Sunday for the Funko panel now after this year.
Well,
Maybe.
maybe Funko is made Sunday a hot ticket item. I don't know. Again, there does seem to be some weird issues relating to inventory showing up differently on different people's screens, but that's okay. Everybody's saying
badges are
Friday is
gone.
Yep.
Okay. Yep.
Did CCI do that yet?
Yes, they did.
Susan Vega said this was worse than getting BTS tickets. Okay, so again, Friday is sold out. Thursday and Sunday are still available. If you can, you should absolutely still try to get Thursday and Sunday because, first of all, you can always add extra days in open registration. Second of all, even if you don't get Friday and Saturday, it is truly not the end of the world. There are other super cool things to do at Comic-Con. The offsites are amazing. You can, I mean, if you don't want to do the offsites, you can even go and explore like other things in San Diego.
Go to the zoo.
Go to the zoo. Yeah, the zoo is really cool.
Martin says, I have never been to Comic-Con, but I was able to make it to the purchase site, but it didn't let me purchase because it said my membership wasn't eligible. Does this mean I have to wait for open reg?
Yes. Yes. Yep. And
So it looks like it is blocking people who are not eligible from, they may be able to get into the site, but they can't actually purchase.
And like I said, that's what happened when I tested it. And again, I have press. Like, I don't need to buy myself a badge. I don't want to buy myself a badge. So I just want to make it clear that I was not trying to like cheat the system.
And someone asked if Funko was going to be there next year. Well, we don't know, but they did announce they're going to be doing Funko Fun Days. So they're going to at least do fun days. And if they're doing fun days, why wouldn't they have their usual booth and their panel now that they've done a panel?
Yes.
I mean, why not?
Yeah, I was like, they for sure announced that they're doing fun days. And they're also doing that Fun on the Run tour that leads up to fun days. So Funko may be in a city near you leading up to
and some people are saying there's an issue where it sells out while they have it in their cart, and then it says to delete and then continue, and it is apparently sometimes not letting them delete. I don't know what the solution is to get to get the ticket off. There may be a special way where you have to like re-add to the cart or delete the whole thing. I don't know yet until someone tells us what worked.
Yep. Let's see here. Somebody asked when Fun Days tickets go on sale. That will be much, much closer to the convention, typically in like June, I think is the timeline.
So someone asked, does it charge the person buying? I just checked my account page and someone bought my badge for me and it says balance due. Should I wait? Absolutely. The person who bought the badges is the one who pays. The whole purchase goes on the one credit card, but they're not running it immediately, which is why it doesn't show up at that exact second, why it shows balance due. You have to wait for them to process everything, which may be happening later today, maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure when it happens, but just wait, because they did put in their credit card information for the whole sale.
Yeah.
You have to click the red X in the cart to delete it.
Yeah, I think that's on the little sidebar.
Yeah. So instead of clicking the button that says add manage or manage to edit or something like that, then you click the red X instead. Sounds like what the process is.
Yeah.
Well, some people are finally under an hour.
Yeah, I just went down to 55 minutes.
Woo!
Woo. Again, that's okay. I mean, it's honestly, this could go long. And maybe Sunday still is available in 55 minutes. Like, I don't know. But again, it's not the end of the world. This is like step one, because you still have open registration, in which people absolutely every single year who got nothing in returning registration get badges in open registration. Happens every single year. So hope is not lost. Join a badge buying group, because that's the single best way to improve your odds of getting a badge. If you don't know where to do that, there are Facebook groups.
Yeah, basically right
Yeah,
now.
there's great stuff. There's great stuff on Thursday and on Sunday. I'm a TV person, and without fail, every single year, Thursday is like the #1 panel day for me.
Thursday was Severance this year, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so there you go. And Sunday was Funko, which was great, and what we do in the shadows.
Yep.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
I'm like, really, those are the 2 days that I went to a bunch of panels. So yeah. All right.
Mark Evanier says, I'm at 13 minutes. I'm not even buying anything. He just likes to torture himself, just like other people who can't buy anything. It's like, oh, let's just wait for no reason. It's fun.
You just wanted,
you want to be part of the group, part of the group effort.
I'm just waiting to see what happens. You know, it's a new system. I just want to see what it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
I mean, they're going to have to use it when they do their pro stuff and all that kind of thing. So get used to it now, people.
Yep.
I love how many people in the chat are excited about Mark Evanier. We love you, Mark.
Yes.
And I'm sure I will be reaching out in a couple months about getting you back on our podcast to keep the tradition alive. Ishir 5913 asked, is it possible to only buy for someone else and not yourself? Yes, absolutely. You can purchase for somebody who is not you.
Seeing a lot of people that said their entire buying group got tickets this year, so that's
I know, like I said, I mean, it's probably anecdotal evidence, but it sure feels like more people are getting through. And if we feel like we saw less people at San Diego this year, like maybe that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, there definitely was fewer people at Comic-Con last year. I mean, this year it was definitely less crowded.
Lighter.
It wasn't a lot less crowded, but you could tell.
Saturday show floor, when you kids were in the Marvel panel, was like, I have never seen the show floor that empty, and it was marvelous.
Yep.
I actually was able to extend both arms.
We walked up to the Marvel booth. There was nobody there. Just like, hey, we're gonna buy our shirt. Thanks. Never had that happen. Yeah.
So we're just waiting for Thursday and Sunday to sell out, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And did we get any mentions that one of them is running low?
We
Not
have
yet.
not. All we've seen is that one is Iron Soul said that his group was having some issues buying Sunday, but that's the only thing I've seen.
And yes, people are talking about buying groups and whether, who do you know you can trust and so on. That is one of the issues. So yes, make sure you're joining a buying group that maybe has someone you know in it, or start forming one with a group of people or find one that seems to be running, have been running for a little while. If you're worried and you're on your own and you need to find one, so just
Several
CCI
people
just
sent us,
tweeted.
though. Yeah.
CCI just tweeted Sunday inventory is low.
Interesting that Sunday before Thursday. Maybe you're right. Maybe Funko is gonna tip Sunday into being a cooler day.
right.
Maybe.
We jinxed nothing. We just know.
Yes. Okay.
For the asking if you can cancel or get a refund, yes, you can request a refund. You can
Yes.
cancel your sale.
Yes, and I said the deadline a little bit ago, but it's like May 12th or 13th, but it's on their website. In 2019, Thursday and Sunday both sold out pretty simultaneously at 59 minutes into the sale. We are at about 90 minutes into the sale, so they are absolutely letting people through slower to purchase.
And Thursday is now running low.
Okay,
Yep.
There we go. All right, so then I bet they sell out around the same time again.
Yep. So, and because they're running low, as people finish up, we should expect the sellout to happen sometime in the next few-ish minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's taken about 20 minutes since they tweeted. Well, 10 to 20 minutes.
My time just dropped to 43 because I think a lot of people are dropping off.
Yeah, I think so too.
And CCI just tweeted about the Thursday inventory.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, even if you wanted Friday and Saturday, we still strongly recommend getting Thursday and Sunday because one, you can add additional badges and open registration. Two, there's always other cool things to do Friday and Saturday at the convention, like offsites. And number three, and perhaps most importantly, you are then eligible for returning registration for 2024, which is a whole lot easier to get a badge than just open registration on its own. But again, if you did not get a badge today, or if you don't get a badge, all hope is not lost. People do absolutely make it through an open registration. And in fact, we're pretty sure that they hold more inventory for open registration than they do for returning registration. Brian asked, wait, what's left? Thursday and Sunday is what's left right now. But both are running low. TL Beatty asks, does the hotel lottery guarantee a room somewhere? So basically, it's a lottery. You fill out a form. They assign you a hotel. If you pay the deposit, you have a hotel. If you don't pay the deposit, you don't have a hotel. You get to like rank which hotels you want, and sometimes you get the hotel you wanted. Sometimes it's a true of how they assigned you the hotel that you got assigned. But yeah, I mean, it's a lottery, more or less.
Yep. And then, as we always say, the hotels, there is a hotel available all the way up until the convention starts somewhere in their system. They never actually sell out of hotels. It's just the closer ones obviously are full and typically do not become available except for randomly. So,
but this year though, and again, I think it had a lot to do with COVID. But this year, more downtown hotels were available like after the fact than I've ever seen. Like way more people were able to snag one through the later dates. Yeah.
But in a normal year, the ones close by typically rarely open up after they are allotted to people.
Yes. But you will get a hotel no matter what. Like again, it may be out in Mission Valley or maybe by the airport, but Comic-Con also offers a free shuttle, which makes getting around super easy. And there's also like the trolley, and there's tons of other great transportation options.
Yeah, the trolley always has Comic-Con special passes that are good for the whole weekend. You know, the trolley's a good way to go. It's also a lot of fun to ride just during Comic-Con.
So Triumph asks, do you think the higher purchase odds for returning registration, this means lower numbers for open reg? Well, we've ran the numbers. So essentially, let's say returning registration has 100,000 people eligible. That means, you know, if they're going to sell 50,000 of the tickets available in returning registration, you have a 1 in 2 chance of getting selected and getting your tickets, because 50,000 people are going to get tickets out of the 100,000. In open registration, the last time we got any numbers was back in 2013, I think it was, where one of the vendors said that they got 900,000 hits in the first minute on the ticket site for people trying for badges in open registration. That number probably is at least the same. If not higher. So let's say there's 1 million people trying for those 50,000 other tickets. That means you have about a 6% chance. So yes, the percentage is going to be less no matter what. It doesn't mean you don't have a chance. You still have a chance.
Yeah. I think to their point, though, is if more people were able to get a badge today and returning registration, then seems like normal, then maybe we'll have a couple fewer people trying an open registration, which might raise the odds there a little bit. And that's entirely possible. I mean, I don't know that it's going to be like 50% higher odds, but yeah, I mean, I think it could easily be, you know, a little bit like 10% or something.
Again, if you get the page not found, click on the login link up in the menu. If you get absolutely nothing, hit the refresh button.
Okay. Sunday badges have sold out. Badges Thursday are still available.
Whew. That was for you, Spencer. What to do? Click the login button. If there's no login button, hit refresh.
Yeah.
All right.
And Thursday inventory is running low.
Somebody said open registration going to be so bad. It might not be. I mean, again, look, the first hour and a half were rough. Okay, we knew it would be, but they figured it out. It worked. I would love to hope that whatever the issue was, they resolved it and it will be fine for open reg. But even if not, almost everyone, it seems like, has said that they managed to get at least like a day today. I know some people haven't, and if you're not one of those people, I'm very sorry. I'm not like trying to rub it in your face. But it does feel like more people than normal have said.
All right, it's sold out. CCI just tweeted Thursday badges have sold out.
All right, that's a wrap.
That's it.
All right, it is 11:36 a.m.
Yep.
So it took what? Was that an hour and 6 minutes, or no? An hour and 30 minutes.
96 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, well, 96 minutes. Okay. Yes. So next steps from here are you should hopefully be receiving a confirmation email with a recap basically of what was purchased. And then within, I think, 72 hours, they will email the barcodes to each individual person. Next sale will be open registration, which will likely be about a month from now. Best guess is November 12th, but that's purely a guess. But yes, I would expect sometime in November for open registration to occur. So Alicia just said in the chat, my one chance and I got nothing. This was absolutely not your one chance, because again, you can participate in open registration. Okay, you have another chance. That's the beauty of returning registration, is you get an extra shot at badges. But hotels will likely be in the spring. I would expect early bird to be in February. Early bird is Mission Valley and airport hotels, basically the non-downtown hotels. Those are non-refundable. So if you get one of those, you have to be sure you're willing to stay there. General hotel sale, I would expect to be in like late March, early April, based on usual timelines. And I think that's about it.
Yep. And they just, the messages of all has been sold out. Thank you for your support. If you were unable to purchase a badge today, you'll be eligible for open registration later this year. So it is going to happen this year.
Yes.
Yeah, like I said, I would expect about a month from now. But yeah,
Right.
nice to see full confirmation.
Okay, so thank you all for joining us for this rather long podcast.
Yeah.
So I would like to mention that we have a Patreon.
Yes.
Carrie, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so if you think that we provide a useful service, like if you found this podcast helpful, we always love when our readers are willing to help support us on our Patreon. All of the money right back into the site, for instance, our very, very large hosting bills. But we greatly appreciate our existing patrons, and we will have another podcast up in the nearest future. Yeah.
All right.
And if you to find it, it's on the sidebar of our site, or I think our name on there is just SDCC UBlog.
Yes, thank you to all of our patrons. And we will be back, as mentioned, for open registration whenever that happens. Expect it next month, but it may be later than that. But they said it will be this year. So when that happens, we will have another live podcast just like this. And we will see you then. And we have a newsletter, which you can sign up for. We will be sending that during con season, so not until next year. But you can sign up and get them at that time. And in closing, thank you all again for joining us, for watching and listening. Andy, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram as SDCC Wacky Wags. If you're into the cannabis community or industry, I also have my own podcast as SDConCast, also on Twitter and IG. Carrie, where can we find more of you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at Carrie Dixon. James, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
I'm everywhere at Dan Regal. And also thank you to Beth, our producer, who will edit the show and get it into your ears. You can follow her on Instagram at TrekkieBeth and see all those awesome photos that she takes. And just check that out.
Absolutely. That's awesome. We're on iTunes. If you'd like to subscribe, the links are up on the blog, or you can search for SDConCast. If you like what you've heard so far, please review us. We're also on Stitcher Radio, and the link is in the show notes.
If you want to get a hold of us, you can send us an email at sdcomiccon.blog@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/sdconblog, or tweet us at sd_comic_con. Thank you all for listening, and everybody, go shawarma. All those new people have no idea what that means.